Tune to Citi, you're number one. Don't look no further. We've got it all covered. Citi FM.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning to life.
Good morning.
Music, talk, inspiration, in perspective.
Express yourself. Good morning, my neighbor.
Citi FM, your station.
It's a refreshing lifestyle.
Citi FM 97.3.
Sorry,
A praise medley, Gan Afro, with Brian Kufo and Perez Music. Welcoming you to the Thursday edition of your favorite radio conversation on 97.3 Citi FM. The King of Kings has already completed that which he started. Isn't it wonderful to know that the end has already been accomplished before we even set out to begin? That's the kind of mindset you should have. Every great achiever sees the end. It's called clarity of vision. You may not know the tiny details or the details that it will take, but the final view of the end product is clearly in view. You know what you want to achieve, you know the effect you want to produce, you know the difference you want to make. Vision is the indispensable quality of leadership, for personal leadership, for national leadership, for all types of leadership. You need vision. And our God says he's already finished. He says, before I formed thee, I knew thee. And before you came out of your mother's womb, I had already ordained you to become something. Wisdom is finding what was concluded at the beginning and living it out. It's clarity, it's focus, it's determination. We all set out with new resolutions. With APSA, we're giving you the chance to bring them to life. With APSA Target Save, you can plan towards specific goals, earn interest on your savings, and get insurance cover to help protect what you're working towards. So whatever it is that you've seen, APSA will help you bring it into focus. Open an APSA Target Save account today. Your story matters with us. Starting off the show with the newspaper review segment brought to you by Zonda Tech Ghana. Ghana's moving, Ghana's building. Ghana deserves the best. And now world-class vehicles are assembled right here, from your giant Sino trucks to your premium SUVs, Great Wall Motors, Cherry, as well as light-duty trucks, Forland. All of these happening at the same time with world-class construction equipment, including Shantui and Sunny Group. Zonda Tech delivers top quality, assembled here with affordable luxury you can trust. Choose quality, choose Zonda. And this segment is also brought to us by Fidelity Bank. We call it Switch and Smile Wider. With Fidelity Bank, you can enjoy amazing benefits like lower interest rates, higher loan amounts, and personalized financial support and smile. It's time to switch and smile with Fidelity. Call us toll free or call us at no cost to you. 0800 003 355. You can also go to fidelitybank.com.gh. Wanjioyi. .34 is the time, and it's time to get into a newspaper review with the two Thursday bonds. One is Yao Che and the other is Yao V. So we called it the Y and Y show. So Yao Che means that he has a bigger brother called Yao, and Yao V means that his father is a Yao.
Right.
Whichever way it is, you are Thursday born. So today is your day. It's one of the coolest days of the year.
Yeah,
You know, we're very calm people.
Yeah.
We know that
The days that cause trouble are Wednesday and Sunday.
yeah, Kokuma sang.
At all.
How about Donald Trump?
Sunday, you know.
When you get a new rubber Kokure, we have a Kenneth Kaunda,
Okay.
the leader of Mao Mao.
They are worried because, yeah. And you know, for a long time, two of our biggest journalists were Wednesday and Sunday. Kweku Baku and Kwesi Pratt. The two Kweku Baku, who is our president.
Yes.
Kwesi Pratt is the president of the
Thank you.
of the Sunday people.
Confusing for the
Mosa.
Moso.
Adabraka.
Yeah. So we're going into the headlines.
Yeah,
and,
yes.
maybe you start with the graphic, Caleb.
Daily Graphic. Africa wins historic vote on slavery. Ghana spearheads resolution at UN. Trafficking declared grievous crime. And 1 billion Ghana Citi Sai Gaba Fund launched. We are told that MTN to pay 6.4 billion Ghana cedis to shareholders, and Heath Goldfields to inject $135 million in Bogoso Prestia mine. New mining fleet arrives for revival.
The Chronicle is also doing mining this morning. Galamsey is Ghana's enemy. We are fighting the canker. Naimos is talking on the front page. Also on the front page, MEF records 5.3 billion Ghana cedis in mineral royalties in 2025, up from 4.91 billion Ghana cedis in 2024. Also on the front page this morning, West Africa must act swiftly on climate change and conflict risk. This is coming in from Ahmed Ibrahim, the Minister for Local Government. These days he's talking power.
Yeah, he's on Daily Guide as well. Local government minister calls for swift climate conflict risk action, same stuff. And then Parliament passes value for money office bill 77 nabbed in Tamale Savalugu drug crackdown. And Heath Goldfields targets $135 million investment as new mining fleet arrives for Bogoso Prestia revival. Same headline. AG Ghana reacts to Mahama degree withdrawal.
Let me take you to the New Republic. Mahamas reparations resolution shake UN. Is it shakes? So it's the reparations resolution. So if it's resolution, there must be shakes, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was a Trinita's devil.
Okay. Also on the front page, Toko News ECOWAS court gamble hits procedural wall. And then Ghana Embassy fires back at Lincoln University. Charlie, this matter.
Daily Post. Galamsey remains the enemy of the state and we won't relent. Naimos boss assures in quarterly report of 87.7% success rate. Act swiftly on climate and conflict risks. This is local government minister again. TDC Ghana Limited trains first cohort of national service personnel in military discipline, and Mahama champions UN votes to recognize slavery as grievous crime against humanity.
The Insight newspaper, UN passes Mahama slave trade motion on reparations for Africans. Also on the front page, the story about Naimos and President John Mahama and the global reawakening of reparative justice. Some of the stories make the front page here.
The National Enquirer has about 8 headlines. No tomato shortage expected. This is Eric Opoku reassuring Ghanaians. Agboja on 23 road projects worth 14.88 billion Ghana cedis under big push. He says they were inherited, and then he's dismissed sole sourcing claims. Tourism Minister condemns alleged assault on Ibrahim Mahama, calls for justice, and then the Ghana Immigration Service writes to the Enquirer, clarifying some rejoinders here and there. Yep.
The Daily Democrat is my last newspaper. Probe Heath Goldfields. Bogoso citizens are calling on the government to do that. Also, something here that says Kwame Agboja exposes MPP over big push sole sourcing claims. And then Naimos records 87.7% anti-Galamsey success. How are they measuring that? Okay, so those are the...
All right, let me take you online. CitiNewsroom.com. Mahama is leading. Fight for justice on slave reparations has just begun.
Yeah.
And then a couple more stories. Ghana's economy was wobbly when Mahama took office as the governor. Burkina Faso tomato ban offers Ghana an opportunity. This is the governor speaking to me yesterday. He also says our economy is resilient despite the Middle East tensions. Couple of hospital stories. Kolebu has about 1,500 functional beds. In fact, Titus Bio gave a list of the number of beds for each hospital. He shared that with us on the show yesterday. Pantan Hospital is also struggling. They had a storm damaging some of their facilities, and they're saying mental health support is still inadequate. Now, there's a very interesting report here that we have to treat cautiously.
Okay.
42% of paternity tests in Ghana exclude alleged fathers.
Hey,
Wait.
Mention the figures again.
No, they say it excludes. I don't know whether the test is what is excluding the father, as in they don't involve them in the test.
Oh, maybe you have to give us more,
I
because this
will
one
give
is
you,
very alarming.
I will read it for
Concern.
You know,
you. All right, I'll come to that story for you. If we go to Channel 1 newsonline.com, a number of stories. We can't wait for nations unwilling to engage. Ghana on UN slave trade motion. Really great motion moved, and Ghana led a victory for, you can call it the black race. Gegzim at 10, income more than doubles to 71 million. Sylvester Mensah speaking And then US and others opposed Ghana's reparation motion to avoid complicity. This is an analyst view on the matter. My John Online says, Komfanoti also says they are under pressure. They are overwhelmed as no bed syndrome persists. Meanwhile, PAC chair accuses majority of abusing parliamentary trust over the 68 billion cedi audit probe stall. And then we're going into a few more. If you go to the High Street Journal, they say the finance minister to headline final day of Gexim at 10 confab. A couple more stories. Back to your village 2026.
Yeah, man.
To serve a fuller taste of Ghanaian heritage with a renewed cultural focus.
Yes,
And there'll be fuller on, on the menu.
I like the play on words. Meanwhile, a quick one and say mathematics. Former CJ chides government for increasing mining royalties but slashing growth and stabilization levies. There's a very interesting feature here.
Okay.
Afram Plains Bridge is a potential solution to Ghana's agri-crisis.
Okay.
If they get a bridge...
Yeah, I've been talking about that.
Yeah, I think it's something we should really consider. Globally, Trump says Iran is afraid to admit to talks as Tehran rejects reports of dialogue. And then there's another story, how a prolonged Middle East conflict could reshape how we fly. You know, that hub is an aviation hub, and the longer the crisis persists, we may have to look for alternative places to fly through, going to some of our final destinations.
Okay, so let's take off this morning.
Yes.
Yesterday, the president led... Yeah, so you want to give her that?
So, the United Nations has adopted Ghana's resolution on transatlantic slave trade, slavery, colonization, and apartheid at the UN General Assembly in New York, the United States of America. The resolution entitled, quote, Declaration of the Trafficking of Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as the Gravest Crime Against Humanity, unquote, was overwhelmingly adopted by the UN member states. The resolution saw 123 countries vote in favor, 52 countries abstained from voting, while 3 countries, namely the US, Israel, and Argentina, voted against the resolution. Now, the adoption of the resolution means that the transatlantic slave trade and slavery can now be called the gravest crime against humanity and set the tone for legitimate pressure for reparative justice and the return of stolen artifacts from Africa during the period of the slave trade, colonization, and apartheid.
If you look at the list of countries that abstained, it also makes for interesting reading. A lot of European countries who had complicity in slave trade decided they wouldn't vote. You know, so 3 countries there, they were against: Argentina, Israel, and US. Some of the countries that decided to abstain: Switzerland, Sweden. Meanwhile, they come and tell us they are our friends. Norway, Oman, Paraguay, Poland, Portugal, they all abstained. Romania, Monaco, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Greece, they all say they don't go vote.
By their deeds.
Denmark, Estonia, Fiji, Cambodia, Bulgaria, all African countries voted in support. Cuba voted in support. Brazil voted in support. So we are seeing who are our real friends. I'm telling you, it's like clear. Netherlands abstain, Finland abstain, Canada abstain, Croatia abstain. Countries we want to run to, all abstaining. Countries that we don't respect: Pakistan, they voted to support. Nigeria, they support. Nicaragua, they support. All the countries that are suffering in the world supported us. Zimbabwe, Zambia, Yemen, Vietnam, they all said
Haiti.
You see the way the thing goes. So it's a clear divide between the haves and the have-nots. Those who have don't want us to get some. That's the whole story. You have to read and understand. Anyway, that was the big story. Let's go to other stories.
Yeah, so Galamsey is in the news this morning.
it is.
The Chronicle has details of what NIMOS has been saying. Stories by Jennifer Ambole. And the first one says that the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has reaffirmed its commitment to combating illegal mining, declaring that the fight against Galamsey remains a top national priority. Now, the Director of Operations at NIMOS, Colonel Dominic Bois, disclosed this at the Secretariat and said that the Secretariat has achieved some 87.7% operational success rate since July 2025, reflecting a significant improvement in enforcement efforts. Now, related to that story is a story talking about climate change, and it's coming in from the Minister responsible for local government, Ahmed Ibrahim, who has been quoted as saying that Parliament, and for that matter, West African countries must take urgent and coordinated action to address rising conflict and climate-related risks across the sub-region. Now, he made the call at the opening of what the paper calls the Social Cohesion, SOCO conference in Yamoussoukro, Côte d'Ivoire, where regional leaders gathered to deliberate on strategies to safeguard vulnerable border communities.
Bernard, there are two stories on tomatoes in the Daily Graphic, all written by Elizabeth Nadu Edu. The first one says Burkina Faso ban triggers action, government unveils tomato strategy, and that's on page 13. The second one, FSRP supports production of 4,000 tons of tomatoes. So the first one says the government has outlined key strategies to boost local tomato production and reduce reliance on imports following Burkina Faso's export ban. The plan, which focuses on irrigation expansion, improved seed variety, and agro-processing, aims to stabilize supply and address structural weaknesses in the country's tomato value chain. This is according to Director of Presidential Initiatives in the Agricultural and Agribusiness, Dr. Peter Boama Otukuno. Meanwhile, the West Africa Food Systems Resilience Project being implemented in Ghana under the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has supported the production of over 4,000 tons of tomato during the 2024-2025 dry season.
But I want to bring you back to the Chronicle and then also to take you to the Daily Democrat, because there are mining-related stories in these papers. So the back page of the Chronicle has a story that says MEF records 5.3 billion Ghana cedis in mineral royalties in 2025. Yesterday you were talking about gold becoming the biggest forex something.
Over 68% of our foreign exchange is from gold.
Wow.
8% is from oil, 12% from cocoa.
Hey,
that's over 88%. So all these non-traditional exports is about 10%.
Wow, that's
in terms of revenue from exports in US dollars.
That's huge.
Very serious.
Now, Richard also writes that the MIF has been meeting editors of our country, and according to the CEO, Justina Nelson, figures recorded show that 5.3 billion Ghana cedis came in through mineral royalties in 2025, the highest since its establishment under Act 978 in 2018. Now, according to the paper, what we recorded in 2024 was 4.91 billion Ghana cedis. So there's a huge jump there.
Let's stay with mining, because the former Chief Justice is not happy with government's Rob Peter Paul approach to mining royalties. So he calls it the Kwekwanansi mathematics. Former CJ chides government for increasing mining royalties but slashing the growth and stabilization levy. So former Chief Justice Ofer Kufu has criticized government's mining policy as contradictory, saying increasing royalties while cutting the growth and sustainability levy undermines national gains, weakens fiscal coherence, and reflects, quote, Kwekwanansi mathematics rather than long-term strategy. Although the government touts a major headway in its mining fiscal regime following the amendment of the Minerals and Mining Act, a sharp critique has emerged from her leadership, Sophia Akufu, over what she describes as a contradictory move. Now, speaking as a distinguished fellow of the IEA, the former CJ did not mince words. She says the government decision to increase mining royalties, which is seen as an attempt to secure greater share of value for Ghana's mineral wealth, has been paired with a simultaneous reduction in the growth and stabilization levy from 3% to 1%. To her, the logic does not add up and is self-defeating.
Okay, just quickly to add to that, if you go to page 3 of the Daily Democrat, the youth of Bogoso are calling for an investigation into the operations of Heath Goldfields. You know, this company has been in the news for some time now. Now, the youth say there are a number of things that are wrong with the operations of the company and how the mine is operated there and how it affects their livelihoods and related matters, and that the government should investigate. They have submitted a petition to the government to that effect.
Right. Meanwhile, Galamsey remains enemy of the state. NIMO says it has recorded 87.7% operational success rate. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has reaffirmed government's intensified crackdown on illegal mining, reporting an 87.7% operational success rate since July 2025. The Director of Operations at NIMOS, Colonel Dominic Bois, disclosed this during a media.
So you got read a different angle of this. Now let me take you to the governor of the central bank. I had a sit down with him yesterday at the Exim conference. And he said that Middle East tensions are real, but the government is putting in place contingency measures as the tensions escalate. He has reassured that the country's economy remains resilient and that contingency measures are in place to manage potential setbacks. He says we are in contact with the finance ministry and other government agencies on what to do and at what time. Contingency measures are in place, our reserve levels are comfortable, we are in sync with our with the other players of government, and I'm sure we'll pull through this one. He
Okay.
described the cost incurred from recent economic measures as manageable and unlikely to recur this year.
Okay, Bernard, talking about resources, there's a story in the Chronicle this morning. You find that on page 2, which says PAC PAC sitting ends abruptly following recall of NDC majority side. All kinds of things are happening in Parliament. Now, Max Olofori reports for the Chronicle. The proceedings of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, PAC, ended abruptly yesterday following the whipping of the majority members of the committee. Now, according to the chairperson of the committee, Abena Ose-Asare, the meeting reluctantly had to end to accommodate a request by the majority side of the House. Now, at the time of the incident, the Ministry of Energy was before the committee. Now, the PAC session had proceeded for about an hour when the chairperson announced an unexpected development, which led to the proceedings of the committee getting.
All right. Let me do a couple of quick stories on the road. You had a story about roads and from yesterday. There's an appeal for the Afram Plains Bridge to be built as a potential solution to Ghana's agri crisis. High Street Journal reports that the Adosu Echiamam from Bridge will replace the ferry, improving transport, boosting farming, agro-processing and trade, and turning Kwewu Afram Plains into a more connected agricultural hub. It's a great story. President Mohammed's decision to award the Adosu Echiamam from Bridge contract is expected to do more than replace a troubled ferry crossing. For businesses and investors, the project points to a larger economic story, the possible emergence of Kwewu Afram Plains in the eastern region as a more investable agricultural and logistics corridor.
Meanwhile, in the Daily Guide, page 6, road sector is broke. Minority raises alarm. NS Kofi Edu writes that members of the minority on Parliament's Road and Transport Committee say the road sector is facing deepening financial crisis with mounting arrears, stalled projects, and widespread contractor withdrawals threatening the sustainability of critical infrastructure across the country. According to them, there is a severe mismatch between government commitments and actual financial releases, warning that the situation could derail national development efforts if urgent action is not taken.
More stories on health. No patient were treated on A&E floor. This is Dr. Titus Bayu speaking on the point of view yesterday. He's the butcher of Kolebu, reacting to some of the questions around concerns over the way emergencies are handled. The butcher of the hospital has insisted that no patients were formally admitted or treated on the floor of the hospital, despite a viral video suggesting otherwise. The video, which circulated widely on social media, appeared to show patients lying on the floor due to shortage of beds. But the hospital CEO had also dismissed the claims that patients were treated on the floor. Speaking in an interview on the point of view, Professor Bayu defended the CEO's position, explained that he never observed any patient being treated on the floor. He clarified that while some patients may have sat or were likely to be lying on the floor, they were while waiting due to overcrowding, they were not formally admitted or treated there. He added that emergency procurement processes had been initiated to address the situation. Now, my journal line also has another story where Konfanoche is also in focus. Deputy Medical Director of that hospital, Dr. Yao Pare Labi, has raised concern over the growing pressure on the facility as the no-bed syndrome persists. Again, speaking on Joy News program, PM Express on Wednesday, he said the situation at Kath mirrors what is happening at Kolebu, but with even greater strain. Finally, we have another one on Pantan Hospital, where a storm has destroyed parts of their block, leading to some serious challenges for the hospital's administration.
Okay. There's a story that I just want to mention briefly. If you go to page 8 of the Daily Democrat, Ghana Water Board calls for water protection. The managing director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Adam Mutawakilu, has reaffirmed the company's commitment to ensuring equitable access to safe and reliable water for all Ghanaians as the country marks World Water Day 2026. Now, in a statement to commemorate the day, Mutawakilu emphasized that this year's theme, Water and Gender, where water flows, equality grows, highlights the critical role water access plays in promoting inclusion, dignity, and socio-economic development. The question is, the people who are complaining recently about access to water, have they been able to resolve their issues?
No, not yet. It's a big challenge, and I feel we need to spend more time on this in the coming days.
And the photograph they published, that's not
Mutawakilu.
That's like the former UPSA boss.
Alabi Professor.
Oh, okay. Kale, let me take you because I have a back to your village story, and then I have the paternity story that Sky is concerned
Charlie is
about.
very important.
Before then, don't only evaluate students' knowledge, make them critical thinkers. This is the Vice President admonishing WAEC. He says that they must develop tools that do not only evaluate students' knowledge, but also challenge them to be creative and critical thinkers. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Juman has said. She said that such initiatives would enable students to compete successfully with their peers globally as the world rapidly evolves with technology.
All right, let me give you the story that you are alarmed about. 42% of paternity tests in Ghana exclude alleged fathers.
What does that mean?
And that's the point Isaac Ofer needs to explain this. Now, it says the Blueprint DNA organization has reported a growing demand for paternity tests in Ghana as more individuals turn to scientific methods to confirm biological relationships. The findings are contained in a new report titled Understanding Paternity Testing in Ghana. Findings from a nationwide lab data set presented yesterday at a program at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Medical director of the company, Dr. Abeku Gansa, said the report is based on anonymized lab data and reflects trend among individuals who actively sought testing due to uncertainty about biological relationships. Now, he noted that 4 in 10 paternity tests conducted in 2025, which is 42.3%, excluded the tested man as the biological father.
Chai, what does that mean?
That's the point. They are using scientific. I don't know if it excluded me. The man didn't take part, or it means that the man was not the father.
Yeah, so it could be one of those.
That nearly 59% of children involved in testing are under 6 years old, suggesting that many families seek confirmation early in a child's life.
Charlie, Papa,
it also identifies a strong link between the timing of testing and outcomes, with tests conducted more than 10 years after birth recording the highest exclusion rates. Oh, I get it. So if there's an exclusion, it means that the
man
no
was
match.
not
as in the man is not, he's been paying for something.
So negative. So you are saying that the if you do the test 10 years after birth.
Yes.
So basically, it's like a lot of the tests that were done, which were maybe the birth took place long ago.
Yeah.
The exclusion rate was higher, between 53 and 59%.
Charlie, this is serious. This
but this was a specific period in 2025.
Yeah.
It's a small sample.
Yeah, Bernard, no, I think we have to look into this matter because
you call the man, do the interview again.
Yeah, because in my line of work, immigration related,
Actually, he said 87% of the tests are for personal reasons rather than legal or immigration purposes, highlighting the private nature of paternity concerns in Ghana. So a lot of the tests are for people just wanting to be sure.
Yeah, it followed these high profile, exclusion cases that have created panic around and people are raising all kinds of issues. And recently you heard the member of parliament for Gomoa, what's the name? A+, saying that he wants to sponsor a private member's bail, which will properly deal with.
So here are the overall test outcomes. Paternity exclusion occurred in 42.3% of cases analyzed. That's 2 out of 5. Results for 575 individual children, as cases often involve multiple siblings. And then 62.3% confirmed as biological offspring, 37.7% excluded as biological offspring.
Charlie, we need to look into this matter.
It's a small sample.
Bernard,
don't panic.
40 something.
Back to your village 2026 to serve a fuller taste of Ghanaian heritage. This is the High Street Journal. It says the 2026 Back to Your Village Food Festival invites Ghanaians to reconnect with heritage, blending indigenous cuisine, music, storytelling, and traditional village experiences in Accra's urban heart. Yesterday I went to a hotel to MC a program, and I was happy to report that more people went for the local food segment than the foreign. And I took abolo
and what?
Akpakalam.
Correct, you are very correct. Probably
with red pepper.
Thank you.
And they sprinkled a little 1,000 on the side.
And then there was some onion on the side, I'm sure.
But there was one problem.
What was the problem?
I ate it with fork.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
City Business News at 7. Nila Tilate here with the details. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News, brought to you by MTN, Ecobank, and Valex. In the headlines, Bank of Ghana signals end to high cost of excess liquidity absorption as cedi stabilizes and inflation retreats. Also coming up, construction cost inflation eases to 2.4%, But monthly price pressures persist. More from the Ghana Statistical Service. Much later in the bulletin, government to construct 250 boreholes in the northern regions to tackle tomato supply challenges amid import constraints. Thanks for choosing 97.3 Citi FM. I am Ni Latte. Shall we now get into our stories? The high cost of liquidity tightening measures by the Bank of Ghana is not expected to recur in the 2026 fiscal year. It is estimated that the central bank incurred about 17 billion cedis in mopping up excess liquidity last year. However, this is being viewed as a one-off adjustment. The Bank of Ghana deployed aggressive tools, including the 14-day bill to withdraw surplus cedi, an intervention that helped stabilize the exchange rate and moderate inflation. Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama maintains that the bulk of the liquidity overhang has now been addressed and that the central bank's balance sheet is unlikely to face similar pressures going forward.
From 2022, lots of liquidity was injected. We needed to mop that liquidity from the system. That has come at a cost. We'll soon be publishing our financial accounts and you see it. But it was a necessary measure to ensure that our interventions will be effective. So that's how the year last year ended. We had to do a lot of hard work. But we incurred a lot of costs in that regard. When I assess the cost we have incurred, it's not fatal. It's not fatal in the sense that it's like a one-timer cost. If we went into each of those costs, they are not costs that will be repeated this year. What is important, therefore, is for us to be able to maintain the gains.
Dr. Johnson Isiama is Governor Bank of Ghana. He was speaking to Bernard Avle in a fireside chat at the Exim Bank at 10 International Conference. Talk of Exim because the bank has more than quadrupled its loan portfolio, growing it from less than $70 million in 2016 to about $300 million by the fourth quarter of 2025. Its Chief Executive Officer, Sylvester Mensah, says the bank is expanding its role in supporting export-oriented businesses, an effort which could unlock the potential of non-traditional exports.
From the outset, the mandate was ambitious. We were expected not simply to finance transactions, but to help build productive capacity, not simply to support trade, but to strengthen the foundations that make trade competitive. This mandate remains fully relevant today. Over the past decade, GESIM has made measurable institutional progress. Our loan books grew from less than $70 million to almost $300 million by the fourth quarter of 2025. With 147 beneficiary companies across the country. Import levy collections increased from below $34 million per annum in 2016 to in excess of $71 million per annum as at the close of 2025.
Sylvester Mensah is CEO of the Ghana Export-Import Bank. Ghana's push to deepen its domestic capital markets has received a boost with the launch of the Chi Gaba Fund of Funds, the first private fund of funds in West Africa designed to channel capital into local fund managers and businesses. The initiative seeks to tackle persistent financing constraints facing small and medium-sized enterprises, particularly limited access to long-term patient capital needed to scale operations and drive growth. Managed by Savannah Impact Advisory, the fund has achieved a first close of 383 million cedis out of a 1 billion Ghana cedi target. Speaking at the launch, CEO Hamdia Ismaila described the fund as a catalyst to boost domestic capital and accelerate private sector growth.
We are in the market to raise 1 billion Ghana cedis. Today, we are closing at 380 million, and we are going to be investing in funds and then in SMEs across multiple sectors. That drives the economy of Ghana to create jobs and improve livelihoods of our population. And the good thing is that we are raising a lot of the money from Ghana. We have some money is coming from outside, but majority of the money is going to be raised from Ghana, which is what makes it very interesting. My assurance to investors is that we see this as stewardship. We know where the money is coming from. We need to develop Ghana and build the Ghana we want, and we will make sure that the money is secured.
Hamdia Ismaila is the CEO of the Savannah Impact Advisory Managers of Chi Gaba Funds. This is 97.3 Citi FM, and you are still listening to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News with me, Ni Lati. In more business stories this morning, government has begun constructing 250 boreholes across the 5 northern regions to support irrigation and boost vegetable production, particularly tomatoes. It is to address supply constraints and increase domestic capacity as the country seeks to reduce reliance on imports. Currently, Ghana's tomato yields remain relatively low, averaging about 8 metric tons per hectare, with the country's ability to meet local demand. Sector Minister Eric Opoku says the move is also an urgent policy response following the ban on tomato exports by Burkina Faso.
In the 5 northern regions, we are drilling 250 boreholes to provide irrigation for the production of vegetables, especially tomatoes. Then this morning, we have also done some arrangements. We spoke to management of the Tono irrigation system, and the Tono irrigation system has been fully refurbished. As we speak, it is making available 2,400 hectares of land. But because the farmers were not getting buyers for their tomatoes, they shifted from the production of tomatoes to the production of rice. So we spoke to them this morning, and they have agreed to make available 500 hectares for the cultivation of tomatoes immediately.
Eric Opoku is minister responsible for food and agriculture. Away from that, construction cost inflation declined significantly to 2.4% in February this year from 23.7% recorded in the same period last year. This means cost pressures on materials, labor, and equipment are gradually going down and offering some respite to developers and contractors. However, on a month-on-month basis, prices are still edging up, which indicates that short-term costs remain elevated. Here's government statistician Dr. Larson Idrisu with the latest data.
This is the 10th consecutive month of decline. Let's break it down by main cost drivers. Labor inflation dropped to 2.4% year-on-year in February 2026, down from 5.4% in January. Month-on-month, labor costs increased slightly by 0.1% between January and February 2026. Materials inflation also eased to 2.4% in February 2026 from 3.5% in January, although prices increased by 0.5% over the month, that is, between January and February 2026. Plant inflation, which includes equipment, fell to 2.6% in February 2026 from 4.2% in January, with a modest 0.1% month-on-month increase. So what does this mean? All 3 components are slowing down, but material still show the strongest monthly pressure.
You heard government statistician Dr. Larson Idrisu. On the forex market this morning, the dollar is trading at 11 cedis 80 pesos. The British pound at 15 cedis 70 pesos. That of the euro could be sold to you at 13 cedis 75 pesos. Be guided. These are average rates from forex bureaus and not the Bank of Ghana's interbank rate. And that's it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News. These stories and more on citinewsroom.com/business. I am Ni Lati. Do have a good business day.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Many thanks to Neela Latte for bringing us the breakfast edition of the City Business News, brought to you by MTN. Imagine walking home and no one ever pauses what they are doing online. The girls are streaming the latest Netflix series. Special playlist is rolling. Daddy is on his usual Teams video calls. Uploads are uploading. Downloads are downloading. Not a single person says my data is finished. That's the power MTN Fiber gives you. Unlimited internet for endless streaming, endless connection, endless everything for your home. Now you get to enjoy a special range of unlimited fiber internet packages, whether you are a new or existing customer. Just log into the My MTN app now and tap broadband or dial star 5057 hash to get your preferred unlimited MTN fiber package. MTN everywhere you go. Kickoff is next. Gabriel Isaac Ofer is here to serve you with kickoff, and that's brought to you by Polytank. Have you gotten your Polytank Sumo Super yet? If not, this is your month to save. Get 10% off the premium multiple layer Sumo Super Tank from now until the end of the Ghana month nationwide. Yes, let's celebrate our heritage together. Sumo Super is designed to last, giving you peace of mind for your home, your project, or business. So don't miss this limited time offer. Visit any Polytank outlet today. Ask for the Sumo Super and save over 1,000 Ghana cedis. Polytank is the original. We don't request for Momo payments online. Before Gabby takes us into the world of sports, I know you've worked so hard and saved carefully and prayed very quietly. You've been paying rent every single year, wondering when it will finally be your turn. You've been dreaming of a place you could truly call your own, but owning a home still feels very out of reach. Listen, at Locus Estate, we understand and know how it feels to work so hard and still feel unsure about your future. We have beautifully designed 3-bedroom townhouses and safe, secure, community-focused estates with a clubhouse, gym, swimming pool, and 24-hour security. No stress, no guesswork, no fear. 0200 557704. Call this number now. Visit locusestate.com for real smart designs in prime locations built for real families and real futures. Locus Estate Modern Living made possible. Now, if you are a parent or a brilliant high school student seeking to pursue your bachelor's degree in a Canadian top-ranked research institution, here's it for you. Located in Toronto, York University, in partnership with Best Education Services, invites high school students and parents to seize the opportunity and attend the York University admissions interview that's coming off this Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. York undergraduate admissions team that will be present includes the Deputy Provost, the International Student Advisor, the Immigration Specialist, and the Regional Recruitment Manager. And the session is specially designed for high school students and parents who seek admission and scholarship opportunities to study at York University in Toronto. Students with offers seeking advice and counsel on visa lodgement and WASI holders or those yet to sit the WASI exams are welcome to attend. Application fee waivers would be granted to qualified students. So it's 27th of March, this very Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the venue is Best Education Services Office. Is located at Atomic Junction, just behind the Atlantic Mall. 025-629-9707. Call this number to RSVP. Good morning to Ishmael Muslim. And it's time for kickoff. Gabby Affair is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
All right, Thursday, March 26, 2026. Good morning. Welcome aboard to Kickoff right here, 97.3. Coming up in the next 10 minutes.
If you look at the array of stars who will be coming from Nigeria, Kenya, Botswana, South Africa, the rivalry is going to be absolutely fantastic.
All right, so Ghana is set to welcome some of the Africa's finest track and field athletes in May. That's the African Senior Athletics Championships. That will be held at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. More reactions coming up a bit later. Plus, Senegal, they are not giving up. They have officially filed the appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. All of that plus the International World Cup playoffs, which begins later today. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Polytank Ghana. All right, many thanks for joining me. I'm Gabby Affair. Let's begin from the doorsteps of the Court of Arbitration for Sports, because Senegal Football Federation has officially filed an appeal at CAS over CAF's decision to strip them of the 2025 African Cup of Nations title. The ruling by CAF's appeals body came after Morocco appealed, citing a breach of tournament rules following Senegal's 17 minutes walk-off during the final, despite the extra time winner from Papi Gueye sealing the victory. Now, the Senegalese Football Federation called the decision unfair, unprecedented, and unacceptable. Here is more from Julia Shrifiamwa.
Registered by CAS on 25th March 2026, the Senegal Football Federation appeal seeks to set aside the CAF decision to declare the Senegal Football Federation winners of AFCON. It also requests an immediate suspension of the time limit to submit an appeal brief until the CAF decision is notified with full grounds. The CAF decision rendered on 17th March 2026 was operative only. A CAS arbitral panel will be appointed to consider this matter. Following this, a procedural calendar will be established. In accordance with CAS procedural rules, an appellant has 20 days to file an appeal brief with legal argument, and the respondents then have further 20 days to submit an answer containing a statement of defense. At this early stage of proceedings, and considering the Senegal Football Federation request to suspend deadlines, it is not possible to anticipate a procedural timeline and indicate when a hearing will be scheduled.
All right, so that's my colleague Julia Shrifiamwa with excerpt of that statement from the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Well, away from that, now last night at the Accra Sports Stadium, the 24th African Senior Athletics Championships was officially launched, signaling the start of preparations for one of the continent's premier sporting events. Ghana is set to host some of Africa's finest track and field talent, with global talent including Leslie Tebogo, Faith Kipchoge, and Beatrice Shebe expected to headline the competition. The championship is scheduled to run from May 12 to May 17, 2026 at the UJ Stadium. Speaking at the launch, Sports and Recreation Minister Kofi Adams says hosting events of this magnitude is key to driving growth in athletics.
The next generation, I must say, is ready. And what they need is opportunity, structure, and support. This is all they need from us. Let's give them the opportunity. The Ghana Athletics is giving these young persons. Let's give them a structure and let's give them the support. We should not have a situation where any athlete, whether amateur or professional, will run barefoot without spikes. The story is not right that we still have some regions that don't have running tracks, proper running tracks. They still do it on undulating tracks.
Okay, so that's the Sports and Recreation Minister Kofi Adams speaking there. Let's also hear from President of Ghana Athletics, Baraf Husseini, describing Ghana's role as host as historic. He says this marks a significant milestone for the country, highlighting the skill and prestige for the championship since their inception in 1979.
Ghana is very important in terms of athletics. Ghana have proved its worth, not only in organization, but also in performance. But what happened last 2 years in Ghana here during the African Games shows the whole world that Ghana has come of age in terms of athletics, organization, and performance. And it is not surprising that the whole 54 African countries are yearning to come to Africa. Coming to Ghana, I should say. Not only are they coming to participate, but they are bringing along with them the finest athletes in Africa in terms of world champions and Olympic gold medalists. If you look at our sizes, we have consciously printed world and Olympic champions to be part of this program.
All right, so that's President of Ghana Athletics, Baraf Husseini, speaking there. We stay with athletics and we hear from NSA boss Yawan Pofankra on the country's target for this year's championships at the UG Stadium.
I mean, we all remember the African Games, 3 years ago? And if you look at the array of stars who will be coming from Nigeria, Kenya, Botswana, South Africa, the rivalry is going to be absolutely fantastic. And the infrastructure that we're putting in place that has been consistent will still be here. You heard from the president or CEO of athletics. Ghana has got one of the best tracks for this level of competition in the world. So definitely we should expect bigger, better, and even higher standards. And I think we would not only meet the standards of the African Games, but we would excel, we will pass it.
All right, so that's Director General of the National Sports Authority, Pofankra, speaking there. While I wait for my athletics, let's do some women football. And former Black Queens Committee Chairperson Roselyn Amo believes that the maidens comeback presents an opportunity to rebuild confidence in Ghana's women's game. The maidens are set to begin their campaign in the FIFA Women's World Cup qualification with a 2-leg first-round tie against Togo next month. She notes that early exposure at the under-17 level is crucial, giving young players a proper pathway instead of delaying their development onto the under-20 stage.
Good news for both stakeholders, the players, and Ghana as a whole, because the point is the Black maidens are the foundation for all the national teams. And so if at that level the players are able to get exposure, it affects future development, because then you are likely to have an under-20 side that doesn't have international exposure and experience, and so building upon that becomes a challenge. And so for me, I think that it is good. It means that girls can dream again. They don't have to wait for a long time before they start playing football at the international level.
All right, so that's Roselyn Amo speaking to Citi Sports. Now let's take you to the Volta region, because convener of the Volta Sports Crusaders, Foster Osei, is calling on Youth Development and Empowerment Minister Jojo Parado to take urgent steps to complete the long-delayed youth facility in the region. His call follows concerns over stalled projects nationwide, largely linked to delays in the release of funds from the District Assembly's Common Fund. Speaking in an interview with Citi Sports, Osei emphasized that the Volta region still lacks a single standard sport facility, describing the situation as unacceptable.
It's very unfortunate that we heard that comment from the sports minister. So unfortunate. Because earlier on we heard the president saying that we will be building 3 new stadiums in 2026. So if the president makes such a statement, which of the regions? I know there are some new regions that don't have stadiums, but that notwithstanding, I am strongly opposed to the statement made by the sector minister that they cannot find money to complete their project. See, the property there is just getting destroyed by the game.
All right, so that's Foster Osei. He's a convener of the Volta Sports Crusaders speaking right there. Well, let's take you to Vienna, and later today at 5:30 p.m. the Black Stars head coach Otuado will address the press ahead of Ghana's game against Austria later tomorrow. The team will hold light training session later today ahead of match day. The Black Stars will be playing at the Ernst Happel Stadium in Vienna later tomorrow at 5 p.m. Well, 2 World Cup sports are also on the line in Mexico this week as the intercontinental playoffs begin today. 6 teams will play in playoffs. 1 from South America, that's Bolivia. 1 from Oceania, and that's New Caledonia. 1 from Asia in Iraq. 1 from Africa in DR Congo. And 2 from CONCACAF, that's Jamaica and Suriname. The teams have been split up into 2 pathways, which will feature 3 teams and 2 games. So a semi-final and a final. So later today at 10 p.m. at the Estadio BBVA in Monterrey, Bolivia will take on Suriname in the semi-final, with the winner taking on Iraq for a berth in the World Cup. But for the playoffs in Europe, we have 8 games taking place today. Turkey will play Romania at 5 p.m. Czech Republic up against Ireland. Denmark will face North Macedonia. Italy up against North Ireland. Poland will take on Albania. Ukraine up against Sweden. And then Wales take on Bosnia and Herzegovina in the World Cup playoffs. So we'll keep you posted. Well, let's finish off with some tennis. In the Miami Open, women's singles, Elena Rybakina beats Jessica Pegula for a 5th straight time to move into the Miami Open semifinals, winning 2-6, 6-3, 6-4. Arina Sabalenka is also through after beating Haley Baptiste to progress to the semis. He ended 6-4, 6-4. Later today, Coco Gauff will face world number 13 Karolina Muchova at 7 p.m. And then for the men's singles in the quarterfinals, there's Francisco Cerundolo facing Germany's Alexander Zverev. And then Francis Tiafoe will play world number 2 Yannick Sinner in the Miami Open. So there's more tennis news later, 5 p.m. But in the meantime, you can head to citysportsonline.com and on X at City Sports Ghana. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Polyton Ghana. I'm Gabi Ofer. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
From now to the end of Ghana month, Polytank is celebrating with you. We are giving you over 1,000 Ghana cedis for free on our premium Sumo Super range of water tanks in celebration of Ghana. Sumo Super is designed to last, giving you peace of mind for your home, project, or business. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit any Polytank outlet today. Ask for Sumo Super and save over 1,000 Ghana cedis. Polytank, the original, always the best. Panono Ankasa. Beware, Polytank does not request for Momo online.
Go day, say a party, mini me a chomo, chilling with friends, mini me a chomo, take chuck your hunger, mini me a chomo, break time please, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun. For the laughter, mini, 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 a chomo. All the parties, mini, 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 a chomo. Let's go dancing, mini, 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 a chomo. Taste the fun, mini, 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 a chomo.
This advert is FDA approved.
Dear business owner, congrats on not giving up on your business. You deserve a medal, and your business deserves to be taken to the next level. In fact, it's about time you run a Zenith Bank SME account so you and your business can enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME business card. Oga and Oga Madam status.
The Zenith SME Business Card is a Visa debit card for making secure payments for goods and services. Enjoy great benefits such as free customized digital SME training, free marketing toolkits, access to Visa practical skills training, and more. Unlock the potential of your business today. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide and sign up for the Zenith SME Business Card, the ultimate payment solution for SMEs. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com.gh or call 0302 680-884 or 0307-086-370. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
Since inception, almost 100% of Ashesi University students have found jobs, started businesses, or gone on to graduate school within 6 months of graduation. From Accra to Nairobi, London to New York, Ashesi graduates are noticed and are leading successful careers. If you dream of a rewarding life and career, an Ashesi education prepares you just for that. Learn more about applying to Ashesi at ashesi.edu.gh. Remember, admission is ongoing.
I'm telling you, my brother has scored more goals than Asamoah Gyan.
What? This is impossible.
Check the stats.
What stats? We can't start. I have seen everything from 1986.
Funny thing about us Ghanaians, we'll argue for 3 days straight, but numbers always settle the matter. So instead of just telling you about better fuels, let's do the math. The new Shell Fuel Save lasts up to 15 kilometers longer per tank. The new Shell V-Power cleans 100% of your engine's critical parts.
Now that's better by far.
The next time you think of filling up, choose new and improved Shell Fuels.
Whether you're buying water from your favorite spot in Osu, shopping online for the latest styles, or booking your next getaway to Dubai, MasterCard gives you the freedom to pay your way. Insert, tap, swipe, click. So many options, yet so easy. With layers of security protecting every payment, your money stays safe. From Trotro to travel, MasterCard connects you to the life you've earned and the one you dream of. Ask your bank for MasterCard today. MasterCard. Safe, convenient, priceless.
Every nation needs a mirror, a place to see itself clearly. The struggles, the progress, the uncomfortable truths. From housing to healthcare, from transportation to education, the City Breakfast Show tells Ghana's story as it is. Weekday mornings, the City Breakfast Show, reflecting the nation, driving development. The City Breakfast Show on 97.3 City FM.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Now so yeah, oh, so nobody.
biggest conversation.
Kojoinchi with America. And a few birthday greetings coming through. Happy birthday to a wonderful man, a soulmate, and a close confidant. May God continue to establish you in excellence and wisdom. From your wife, Mrs. Miriam Tete, to Superintendent Ebenezer Tete, District Commander Tema Community 2 of the Ghana Police. You're a wonderful man, a soulmate, and a close confidant. Help us say a big congratulations to Ekua Enima Asamaduku on the occasion of a white coat ceremony today, 26th March 2026, at the School of Pharmacy, University of Ghana, Legon. Dr. Enima, it's been 5 years of sleepless nights and hard work. In all of these, the good Lord has seen you through. We're so proud of your achievement. We wish you God's guidance and protection in the remaining year to completion and your entire career. From your sister Ifia Asamaduku, your dad Mr. Kofi Asamaduku, and your mother Mrs. Agnes Asamaduku. Happy birthday to you, Oko Tuasu Nana Odam Siao the 4th, Chief of Insuta Buem. Okutwensio. Okay, Okutwensio. Nana Odam Siao the 4th, Chief of Unsuta Buem, and Abontin Domhine of the Buem traditional area in Oti. Wishing you good health, strength, and blessings in abundance from your wife Elizabeth and your children Miriam, Asantewa, Sewa, Kweku, and Sami. Please wish my wife, my heart, who is enjoying a birthday today. Her name is Winifred, and a proud mother of Faith Presby Church. She is and will continue to be my better half. She works at the PCG district office at Nsawem. I pray the good Lord see her through all things. I love you, Ra. From Sonny to my heartbeat Winnie.
Yeah, so but this one came in yesterday, but we couldn't have the time to do it. So let me do belated happy birthday to Judith Amu Mensah, a senior manager, treasury and cash management at MTN Ghana. It's coming in from your husband, Mr. Kudu of AFDB, who is celebrating you for all the great things you continue to do in the life of the family. May you continue to push. He loves you so much, so have that in mind all the time.
Yeah, and this is to one of my favorite photographers, the portrait master, Oflex, from your wife, Papati Kweku Edu. She says that on this day, 40 years ago, the earth definitely became richer when it was blessed with your presence. Husband of my youth, my old age, my forever. Happy birthday, the king of great ideas, big dreams, and hard work. School fees in tea. Today we celebrate you. She says that we love you deeply, we admire you endlessly, and we are so grateful to do life with you. So to Oflex, Ben Edu of Oflex Studios, we celebrate you today. I join myself with your wife and everyone to celebrate you today.
one says, good morning, Bernard. Please help me wish a glorious birthday to Pastor William Ashrifi, CEO of Care Zone Academy. The Lord bless and multiply him greatly. Coming in from Godson Tenge to Pastor William Ashrifi of Care Zone Academy. In the meantime, Tecno has released the all-new Canon 50 series, featuring a leading AI auto zoom camera for capturing exciting moments. The AI-powered photo gallery becomes a creative studio with AI art gallery. AI image to video turns photos into dynamic videos, or turns photos into dynamic videos that can be set as wallpaper. There are various styles, including global art and local cultural themes. Tools like AI reflection remover, shadow remover, and AI dazzle remover all incorporated into this wonderful product. For productivity, the series offers the one-tap flash memo function for scanning documents and the improved Ella AI assist as your life companion. It has a sleek design, vibrant colors, high durability with lots of interesting variants. You can visit any Tecno store to choose from the Camon 50, the Camon 50 Pro, or the Camon 50 Ultra with eSIM support. Talk to Western Villas at Ayimensa, where our stunning homes redefine elegance. Each home is a masterpiece with swimming pool, gym, playground, beautiful landscape gardens, and private balconies, making life feel like a retreat. Reserve Western Villas 3 or 4 bedroom luxury gated homes at Ayimensa with just 5% deposit between now and end of March, and get up to 2 free service plots today. We also have limited executive plots for sale at Katamanso and Chopoli with attractive prices. Call 0536 50 22 95 or go to westernvillas.com for more information. In the meantime, Republic Bank has mortgages for those who want to get on the property ladder. We have loans for SMEs, and we also do corporate banking solutions. You can build wealth with Republic Bank with investment and trust management. And of course, you have a wide variety of Visa, credit, and debit cards. Start your journey with Republic Bank. Call 0800 414 414 or WhatsApp 0546 414 414 and step into the Republic verse. Republic Bank, we are the one for you.
Charlie, if you drive or you own a vehicle, this is for you. We are trusted for 102 years. Enterprise Insurance I'm talking about, and we've dropped the Insure Naturally promo. Is the road to the ultimate football experience. When you insure your car with Enterprise, you don't just get protection, you get extra rewards. Enjoy free fuel coupons, airtime, shopping vouchers, and stand a chance to win an all-expense paid ultimate football experience live at the stadium. Insure your car now with Enterprise Insurance and be part of the Insure Naturally promo. We are running this to the end of May. Is regulated by the NLA on its Caritas Lottery platform. Enterprise is your advantage. We are thrilled to invite you to the grand opening of the newest Max Buy showroom. Join us from the world-class brands like Samsung, LG, Benetton, Apple, Tecno, itel, Philips, and Infinix, and pay later or with ready cash. Flexible payment terms you deserve. The date is the 27th of March this year, 10 a.m. prompt. Achimota Retail Center as well is happening. We offer on the opening day 50% interest discount on our buy now, pay later policy. We have exclusive flash sales, limited time offers on selected products. Spin the wheel to win amazing gifts for every purchase you make, and treasure hunt for a surprise home appliance. 27th March marks our first Fala Friday of the year. It's Max Buy Day and BBI Fala. Get up to 50% discount all on products. Call us 0544 019 552. Come and experience retail the Max Buy way. So people are winning big on the 590 mobile just by dialing star 959 hash, but more boys know to get the rundown. So let me tell you, NLA has increased the playing time of your favorite 590 mobile from Monday to Saturday. Noon rush starts from 8:30 p.m. and closes at 1:25 the next day, while the evening draw starts at 1:30 p.m. closes at exactly 7:55 p.m. More time to stake more time to win more. Note though, Sunday Aseda remains the same with no change. Challenge. Catch all the 590 mobile evening live draws from Monday special to Sunday Asida on GTV broadcast from 8 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. Always remember to stick responsibly. It's not for persons below 18. 0308 249 477 is the number to call for enquiries. 590 mobile at Darwinsem. So the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana is proudly presenting the second edition of the National Banking and Ethics Challenge. We had a conversation with them yesterday. It's happening from the 26th to the 27th, and we are looking at professional banking education activities. We want to promote ethical, digital, and financial literacy among tertiary students in Ghana. We have 12 universities who are participating, and the preliminary stage will take place on Thursday, 26th, followed by the grand finale on the 27th, which is Friday, all happening at the CIB Ghana Auditorium in East Legon. We invite corporate institutions to partner with us through sponsorships to support this initiative, and indeed they said the general public is invited for all the benefits. It comes with 0506 339 248 is the number to call. Sharon.jchia@cibgh.org is the email address. Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, developing trusted professionals.
Time check is 30 minutes to the hour of 8. Two big things we're doing this next couple of weeks. As you know, we're doing the Back to Your Village Food Festival, and we're urging families, friends to come on Saturday and Sunday to the Fasterland Children's Park and enjoy the very best of Ghanaian cuisine. There will be music, there will be reenactments of some of the way our foods are prepared, lots of interesting things for particularly those who want their children to also know how our foods are prepared, and then of course sample various food from the northern part, the southern part, the eastern and western parts of Ghana. It's a whole day, Saturday and Sunday. Then on Easter Monday, the Easter Orphan Project is going to be doing some very important things beyond visiting orphanages and supporting orphans. We are also including in our work the outreach to drug rehabilitation centers who've been doing a great job rehabilitating people who have become addicted to various forms of substances. So we're supporting about 3 drug rehabilitation centers, and we're also taking our outreach further to the prisons. So later on, Apioko will come and tell us about some of the new things we're doing this 2026. So the Easter Orphan Project, even though we call it the Easter Orphan Project, is beyond orphanages. It's dealing with a lot of social issues. So we decided to bring in the drug rehabilitation centers and some prisons, and therefore we're urging people who have things to give us, rice, milk, all the things that we can send, physical food or money. A friend of ours brought 100 bags of rice and some other items to us last week for us to distribute to the less fortunate. But I can't help but go back to what's happening at the UN. You know, some people feel like the UN has lost its relevance because of the way some of the large countries are being unilateral in their actions, and the Security Council, people feel, is not even balanced to reflect the way global power works, right? If you have US, you have 2 or 3 European countries, it's not really balanced to reflect the modern realities of the world. Be that as it may, UN is still a very important agency for a number of reasons. Its development agencies are still very effective. And as a committee of nations meeting to discuss critical issues, the UN is a very powerful platform. So Ghana's president led a very important vote yesterday at the UN, and I think we can say it was a resounding victory for what he stood for and what we all want, that slavery be declared a crime against humanity, given the necessary recognition, particularly by a world which decides to be oblivious to the pain of people of African descent. So with the president's determination to push this through, 123 countries, is it?
Yes.
Voted. 3 countries voted outrightly against.
Argentina, US, and Israel.
And then
52
abstained. And I'm disappointed with the abstentions more, because a lot of the countries that abstained, I'm not, look, you can agree and disagree on things, but I feel like this is so fundamental to us that a lot of the things they say to us, you know, when you meet people from those countries, particularly on the diplomatic level, we are friends and that kind of thing. This is a very important resolution that admits how the world treated our people. And I feel like the abstention is also, in a sense, a denial. I mean, some people may not want to characterize it that way, right? They may want to say an abstention is for whatever reason. But I feel like, Charlie, if somebody has been traumatized emotionally, has been denied their place in world history, has been economically disadvantaged by decades of pillaging of this kind, you know, countries that come around and say, oh, we are supporting your culture, this, we are giving you money for that. When, because you see, don't give me money, but deny my pain. Get it? So I am saying that a lot of the countries that did not support this, for me, we have to think carefully about how we see them, seriously. That's the way personally I feel. I feel like they didn't do it. Maybe you can go through your list again. But all the countries that are suffering in the world supported us. And all the countries that are enjoying the world, they didn't support us. That's the way I saw it.
Just in response, I'm surprised you're surprised.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed.
Or disappointed. So I'm surprised you're disappointed because these are countries that you would call beneficiaries of the transatlantic slave trade, of colonization and apartheid. And so remember that we can talk about friendships, diplomacy, etc., but the interests of countries prevails, okay? So that the dominant countries that can pursue their interests can do so properly and adequately in comparison with the not so dominant countries. So if you benefited from some of these things, remember that, and you made reference to a number of the Scandinavian countries. Yeah. Okay, you have
basically Western Europe.
Essentially, yeah, you have our traditional artifacts, etc., sitting in many of these countries. Of course, they will abstain. Yeah. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
A lot of the wealth that was extracted and plundered from Africa, a lot of the resource, the human resource, was sent to some of these countries to build those countries. And so it is in their interest, and they are doing exactly what is in their interest.
And you know what's so interesting about this? When you look at the dashboard, I could mention a country, and even without you looking at it, you will know how they voted.
Yes.
So like if I mention
Belgium.
So let me start from alphabetical order. Albania abstained. If I mention Algeria, they definitely voted.
They voted for.
Andorra abstained. Angola, 4. Antigua and Barbuda,
4.
Argentina,
against.
Armenia,
abstain.
You are right. Australia,
abstain.
Austria,
abstain.
You are correct for all. Azerbaijan,
4.
Correct. Bahamas,
I think 4.
Yes. Bahrain,
4.
Yes. Yeah. Bangladesh,
4.
Yes. Barbados,
4.
Yeah.
Belarus,
4.
Yeah.
Correct. How did you get this? Belgium.
No way.
Because of that.
I'm painting a picture. You see, because you know your geography and because you know your history. But I feel like our people don't know this. Do you understand? We need to let people understand that development is a struggle and it's a war. And you need to look. China voted for.
Yes.
India voted for.
Yes. Russia voted for.
Clearly, you get it. So for me, the world is divided between those who have used history and violence to enrich themselves and those who are bearing the brunt of it. And sometimes, you see, we need to let people understand what is at stake so that in the decisions they take and the way they make their... imagine, every country I mentioned, you know how they voted. Meanwhile, I haven't even gone through the list. Brazil voted for. Botswana voted for. Bulgaria, abstain.
Abstain, yeah.
Burkina Faso,
4.
Burundi,
4.
Cape Verde,
4.
Cambodia,
4.
That's the first mistake. Against.
Cambodia is against.
Yes. No, not against. Cambodia is abstain.
Abstain.
Bulgaria was also abstain. Cameroon.
4.
Canada.
Against. Abstain. Canada is abstain.
Abstain. You are right. The whole Africa, but Chile.
Including Madagascar? Okay.
Yes. Chile, 4.
Chile is 4.
China, 4. Colombia.
It should be 4.
Yes. Comoros.
4.
Costa Rica.
4.
Congo.
4. Yes. Cote d'Ivoire, obviously.
4.
Croatia.
Abstain.
Cuba.
4.
Cyprus.
Abstain.
Correct. Czech Republic.
Abstain.
Charlie, you are too good. Oh, the 2 Congos.
4.
Denmark.
Abstain.
Dominican Republic.
I assume 4.
Of course. Djibouti. Dominica.
4.
Djibouti.
4.
Egypt.
4.
Ecuador.
Ecuador 4.
Yes, El Salvador.
4.
Equatorial Guinea.
4.
Eritrea.
4.
Estonia.
Estonia. I think abstain.
Charlie, you are too much. Is it correct?
Bernard, just to as a point,
why are Eastern European countries abstaining?
It's I feel like
what's their problem?
Remember that the let me talk about the Latin American countries. They also went through a period of colonization, and so there's a certain relatability with the slave trade, colonization, and apartheid. So for the countries that experienced that, at least in the 18th, 19th, 20th century, they can relate to that.
Why is Japan abstaining? Because obviously,
no, but if you read the history of Japan, they were referred to as as colonizers.
Yeah, but why don't you want to admit it? Why is it so difficult? You see, this is the challenge. They do this moral thing, which is hypocritical. They come and tell us all kinds of things around. Oh, we need a rules-based system. We need fairness. When the U.S. decides to go to war without consulting anybody, they don't know that rules-based system works. You know what I'm saying? So for me, look, you can relate with people, but we have to be very clear that we have to take our development into our own hands. Which is why for me, leaders penchant for visiting other countries to get endorsement that they are doing well, for me, is a non-starter. The best way to know if you are doing well is whether your citizen's life is better. Don't go to UK and then the Queen or somebody will say, oh, we like this president because he's done, or whoever. You get me? For me, it annoys me. You know, right now, Nigeria's president is in where?
Nigeria.
He's in UK and they are giving him all the
last week. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then Charlie, we have to I don't know how to put it. You see, you have to have some pride. You get it? You may not be able to fight the whole system giddy, but there are some things that you should, because you see, the way you present yourself is how people will treat you. You get it? So we should be very, look, some people have gone through trauma and they've made sure everybody knows they've gone through the trauma. So if you even deny it, it's an offense. Do you understand? If you deny the Holocaust, it's like, why deny the Holocaust? We've suffered. We cannot even get people to accept that what they did to us was wrong. And then they sort of distort the history and say, well, there were some people who also sold slaves who were African, so it means when the Jews who also took part in sort of betraying their own people, does that mean the Holocaust was not real? You get it? So a lot of this is about how Africans are educated about their history and how they look down on themselves. So somebody was saying, why is President Mahama in the US talking about slavery when there's Galamsey going on? And I'm like, you know what? People need to be wise. There are certain things that go to the core of your personhood. Do you understand? And we need to, we shouldn't be flippant about it and say, oh, there are problems in Ghana to solve. Why is he traveling, fighting this? It's the beginning of something. When people start seeing that, because if I deny that I abused you, I'll deny you other things. I'll deny you a voice. I'll deny you the right to develop. I'll deny you. Do you understand? So let people not think this is like some luxurious, fanciful, there are more bread and butter issues. You don't understand development. If people deny what they did to you, they will deny you access to trade. They will deny you access to their right to speak.
Access to justice.
They will describe you as less than a human being. So Africans must wake up. Africans must wake up, and our president is leading the charge. Our behavior here must match that level of leadership. We are not the biggest country in the so-called third world, but because of our history and because of the way our founding fathers led, we have a certain credibility globally. If you go anywhere in Africa and you say you are from Ghana, there's some residual respect.
And just to add, because of Nkrumah's push for a united
Correct.
Africa.
Correct. So, Sky, I don't know what you think, but I feel like it's a good thing. We've had 122, but what I wanted to find out, what does it mean in effect? Because they've gone to vote to make a declaration and a recognition. But does it have any effect? So does it mean, for example, that we can ask for more UN money to be spent to repair the damage of slave trade? Can we legitimately make a case for reparative financial payments so that countries that took part in the slave trade will dedicate a part of their budget? Just like there should be, or is it just symbolic?
Well, so some will call it Pyrrhic victory.
Pyrrhic, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Sky.
That's how some will call it. No, I'm not speaking as someone who is doubting the effect of what was done yesterday. It's truly historic.
Yeah.
It's a huge development that every black person, and in fact, every person who cares about humanity generally, and the need to protect dignity of all humans everywhere, would have to be happy about. But I'm speaking as someone who has some understanding of how the UN system works. Because the UN, if you listen to many of the explanations given by the countries that either abstained or voted against the draft resolution yesterday, they sought to make a case as to why they believe that the draft resolution in its current form, as of yesterday, ought to not have passed. For instance, if you listen to the US, they said that they had made a case as to why the language or the text of the draft resolution needed to have been tweaked. They had sought to, if you like, influence a change in one way or the other, but their views were not taken on board. So
that's why they
exactly, so that it is not like they are denying that A, B, C, D happened during the era. Of course, the details.
I can read the name, the resolution.
You have the entire text.
So it's the Declaration of the Trafficking of Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as the Gravest Crime against Humanity.
No. You see, it is that's what you can call the long title. You have to the details, the fine details, and the specific things that we are pushing for. Sometimes the principles are drawn from the reason why the UN was established. Whether the UN was established to deal with how countries relate to each other in order to preserve peace across the world and to engage diplomatic means to resolve disputes, or we want to use it as an instrument to deal with past injustices. Some of these issues came up. Also, the law of the day principles were also invoked, which is to say that, as of the time the said criminal conduct we now see was going on, several nations or several kingdoms or several spaces recognize slavery as a lawful conduct.
So can't we correct that evil?
No, the point I'm making is that
you are just explaining.
I'm just explaining. Which is to say that if it was lawful at the time, and there is a principle in law that says you can't go back in time and make criminal what was not criminal as of the time that the activity was going on, then why do you now say, so many hundreds of years later, that a particular conduct was criminal and therefore let's recognize it today?
We'll get into more of this when we come back. It's time for Tech and Social Media Trends. Thank you, Sky. And maybe later on she will read the details of the resolution and what we can do with it. But it's 8:04 and the Citi Breakfast Show now presents Tech and Social Media Trends.
It's brought to us by Telecel.
Edwin Kwakufi is joining us. Kaka, it's okay. Edwin, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. So, this has become a major topic on social media, obviously. It's a historic resolution that was approved by the UN declaring the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime in human history.
You see, that characterization would also explain why Israel, for instance, would take the position it took, because they also recognize their own terrible experiences, just like ours, as the gravest injustice to humanity.
Can the two truths coexist?
Well, you see, in this particular case, our characterization is the gravest, which is to say that it's the most. You see, so all of these.
But Sky, there's history supports some of these things.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm just telling you objectively.
It's explaining to you why they are, but their reasoning is wrong.
But I agree with you.
Which is fair. I mean, which is fair.
You cannot say that your tragedy should surpass somebody's tragedy. You can't say that.
Suffering is suffering. So gravest as an adjective. So. Charlie, you just continue.
So you've handled a lot of the angles, but I'll just go through a few of them again. So 123 countries or member states voted in favor, 3 against, 52 abstained. So a number of countries that abstained, including the New Zealand and the United Kingdom, they said that, as you were arguing about, you can't create a hierarchy of pain or hierarchy of trauma. It will seem to suggest that some people's pain or the trauma they suffered is above others. Yes, so that was one issue that they created. And the US also said that, as Sky said, the US also said that at the time the transatlantic slave trade was ongoing, there was no, it was not illegal. Yes. So it was not illegal. So you can't hope to start allocating modern resources to the descendants of people who were affected by that slave trade in the past.
Somebody said to me, the world is like an egg; it goes round. Their time will come.
Well, the pushback, really, if you look at it objectively, there are those who would say that countries are today passing laws, and some countries, a number of European countries have done it, as Bernard said, to make any denial of the Holocaust a crime. You understand? Now, if the principles that push those laws into existence, if you push them, they will support why today we can also say that objectively something was done which was extreme, completely unacceptable, and on the basis of that, there has got to be some reparative justice. But of course, it's always a question of where you sit in the on the global order.
For me, what it means is personally, let's commit to excellence, independence. Let's work together as Africans to develop ourselves. Nobody's coming to save us. If we don't work together to bring dignity to our people, 100 years will pass. People will
pass resolutions.
Nothing happens. So we have to move. It's a good start. Let's build on it.
So a few more points. The resolution also includes a part where they demand an apology from the countries that participated in the slave trade, and also obviously the reparations, but no specific amount was mentioned as to how much each country would contribute to that fund. Also, unlike the UN Security Council, the resolutions at the General Assembly are not legally binding, so countries do not have to abide by what was agreed or approved at the UN General Assembly. However, obviously it reflects on your standing or reputation across the globe when people feel that this is how you think or about an issue or not. So those are some of the biggest things people are talking about.
It gives you political, victory,
exactly,
which you can use in various ways. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so also the US talked about, they reiterated the fact that, or the opinion that Donald Trump has done more for black people than any other US president, and the comments about him normalizing.
You see, sometimes I just want to say something. I just want to say something. You see, there was a president in office who took a bold stance and made sure that slavery became, was banned,
abolished,
right? Abolished.
Do you think the people saying this thing even believe what they are saying?
No, but you see, that kind of characterization is wrong, and we need to educate our people.
Normal times.
That the people who liberated the blacks who were in plantations and doing all kinds of things, those people, in many people's views, would have done a lot more to the black race than the person who is currently sitting in the office of President of the United States. In some way.
They are just talking.
Okay, so we'll move on from that to Eric Opoku, who is trending because he is the Minister for Food and Agriculture. Yesterday, he faced the media on the ongoing tomato crisis, as some are calling it, the fact that Burkina Faso has imposed a tomato export ban, which has led to complaints or worries that Ghana could have a tomato shortage problem. So the minister said that will not happen. There will be no shortage, that measures are being put in place to ensure that the country has enough of that. That last year they cultivated 1,000 acres. This year they want to scale it up to 4,000 acres. He's also advised people, and this is what a lot of people are talking about on social media, to do backyard gardening to ensure that they have what they need to take care of themselves, subsistence farming.
I was also saying about that.
No, so people are saying...
Isn't that what the champion said we should do under OFY?
Exactly.
It's
so
not the solution to the problem, but
yes,
it's part of it.
It's part of a solution.
Did you do back to your farm something?
Oh yeah, that's how, I mean...
Even you, I found some cocoyam in your house sometimes. Some big cocoyam. Yeah, so it's good.
But the complaints that people are having on social media it appears to be another attempt to shift the responsibility for taking care of a lot of these things to the citizens instead of the people who are voted for to deal with a lot of this. So
maybe the policy for supporting farmers is good, but it can also include encouraging people to do backyard farming.
Yes.
I don't think it should be seen.
Yeah.
Sometimes, some of the platforms, the arguments, sometimes, the politicians, maybe they don't explain things, or people get angry, or people are already hungry, so they bow. So if you talk small,
but it's also the reality we exist in.
Yeah, but for me, if somebody says you should do backyard farming, after having said a lot of things, he didn't say, we will not give you tomatoes, go and plant. We've mentioned all of that. So in addition, do backyard farming. Then you pick the backyard farming and say, Master, what are you saying? You have to be fair.
No, but I'm not saying we have to be unfair, but our reality is also based on the things we hear as compared to what we see executed.
Yeah,
there's a gap.
I don't think that we should find any objections to the idea of doing our own farming. We should have
arguments that are based on facts, not necessarily because we are angry. So if somebody says something,
even if you live in
that's not the purpose of discourse.
I'm just saying their suspicions are not out of place.
No, but I mean,
even if you live in a single room, self-contained with a porch, you can still go to any of these shops and get, or even if you go to the dam site, you can get a number of empty gallons, cut them, put soil in them, and plant something in them, grow them. Yeah, it's possible to do it. Self-sufficient.
So the Court of Arbitration for Sport has confirmed that they've received the petition from Senegal to restore their AFCON title. So they say they will deal with the matter as swiftly as possible because they realize the interest from a lot of Africans and from other people across the world. And they're also saying that there's no...
Morocco voted.
The entire Africa, yes. The entire Africa, it's an African Union.
I want to check.
For the entire
for some reason, I can't really see. Yeah, Morocco voted
for. They voted for.
It's an EU position, so.
Morocco voted for.
But why? What's your problem?
Okay, so.
No, but you mean Morocco, so you won't take join.
Stop that.
So yes, there's no timeline for the decision, but former head of CAF's disciplinary panel had previously suggested that this could take about 6 months.
To take a decision.
To ensure everyone is heard and then take a decision.
This thing they should convene quickly.
It's a simple matter. Overturn that obnoxious decision and I want cost
to
Okay, so I want to move away from that to an entertainment story outside of Ghana. So I hope you know that there's a reboot sort of the Harry Potter series.
Is it?
Yes, so in a TV series form. So instead of movies, there'll be TV series. And the first trailer for the series was released yesterday. But the conversation is revolving around one of the characters who has been cast for a very important role. So Peter Isiedu has been cast as Professor Snape. For those who know him, Peter Isiedu is a black man. The original actor for Professor Snape was a white man. So that is where the discussions on social media, people are enraged. Some people are enraged that it seems to be a race swap happening in one of the most beloved franchises.
But the woman who wrote that
in history,
Harry Potter, did she racialize the character?
No, she didn't.
So it can be anybody. So maybe for the next season, it's a black man. What's the problem?
Well, in her description, she described Snape as pale.
So but they are black people.
Have you seen
it? That's not making me a white man.
Okay.
I see you do that thing.
Yeah.
It's all part of reparatory justice.
I would have.
Okay.
Hey, what time is this?
Is it Peter Zil?
Yeah,
so
they are very upset.
They don't watch.
Yes, they are ready to boycott the series. Yes,
we should watch it.
But he's a fantastic actor for anyone who is worried about his competence. So now we move on to tech news, and a lot of cases are being decided. So a Los Angeles jury has found Meta and Google negligent for designing social media platforms that are harmful to young people, and have awarded a $6 million verdict. So it will serve as a bellwether case for other similar cases which are ongoing. So the jury found Meta liable for $4.2 million in damages and Google $1.8 million. So, which are small amounts. They are both worth over they are both worth billions of dollars, sometimes going into the trillions. So, as I said, it's supposed to serve as a bellwether case for other cases that are going on. This particular case, as I've been bringing you over the last month or so, it involves a 20-year-old woman, a minor, when the case began, who is known by her first name, Kaylee. She said she became addicted to YouTube and Instagram at a young age because their attention-grabbing design, such as the infinite scroll, where you get video after video after video, encourages users to keep looking at new posts. So she was troubled by that, and then she got
all right,
awarded
Edwin,
6 million.
thank you very much for coming on.
Bernard, one thing, just a personal thing. On the motorway, there was a truck that seemed to have got into an accident. It hit one of the Jersey barriers, or maybe another truck. That was last Wednesday.
Yes.
Today,
on the Temabon side.
yes, today it's still there
for like a week.
Yes, half of it is on the median, half of it has crossed the road, and it's a big problem because last night when I was going home around 10,
lots of traffic.
I didn't see the car where it was going, so until very late.
You nearly ran into it.
Almost. So
that's serious.
Yes, so it's important that something is done about it because it's been there for a whole week.
But the contractors working on the project, they have all kinds of earth-moving equipment. They can use one to drag the vehicle off the road,
and then they should then charge the owner to pay.
Exactly.
Later.
I mean, it's a danger to road users. And
anyway, thank you, Edwin.
All right.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no.
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want them. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
When I was young, I asked my mother the secret of her vitality and health. She said, the right food, the right exercise, the right amount of sleep, and the right blood tonic. Nexcofa, the right blood tonic. Nexcofa blood tonic is fortified with iron and other essential vitamins and minerals for a strong, healthy, and active body. Nexcofa blood tonic is effective for the treatment of anemia, lack of appetite, and stressful conditions in both adults and children.
Nexcofa Blood Tonic, the right family blood tonic. Nexcofa Blood Tonic is manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the 8th for Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by EcoBank, Gino, Dinishato, Munch Biscuits, and Everpack.
This damn patch again. Ebo, look at this wall. Every few months, the same damn patch comes back. I've painted it twice already. What is all this?
Kofi, you can't fight moisture with paint. The problem is inside the building itself.
Yes. So what can I do? The house is already finished.
Simple. Gasem Super Strong Waterproof Cement. It's a new cement with built-in water protection technology.
Water protection?
Yes.
So it's just for repairs?
No, my friend. That's the difference. Use it to fix dampness and seepage. Or use it for new buildings, foundation, block work, plastering. One cement that builds and protects.
Wow.
Gasm Super Strong Waterproof Cement. The one cement that builds and protects. Build it right once. Gasm, the nation builder.
Kuma has always dreamt of commanding his own military forces.
Attention! Eyes right,
stand at ease.
Because that dream is still a vision in progress, he spends his time commanding his money with the EcoBank mobile app.
Operation Supplier Payment. Dispatch 1,000 units of currency from Accra to Benin. Move! Move!
Sometimes he wants a little extra control so that he can buy only what he needs.
Command Center mobile app. Activate virtual card protocol and initiate payments for sneakers and t-shirts. Abort mission for leather coat payment.
Even when the general is fast asleep, his standing order marches out to sort his bills. With the EcoBank mobile app, you can command your money to make safe transactions in Ghana and across 33 African countries. Download the EcoBank mobile app on the Play or App Store today.
By the left, about turn.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank will never call or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
City 97.3 Accra.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Well, so it's 23 after 8, and we'll bring you more conversations on this particular interesting topic. Historic move. What does it really mean for us? And some of your messages to 0549-986-996, 0549-986-996. We have lots of your messages. We'll be bringing them to you shortly. But if you're a parent or a brilliant high school student seeking to pursue your bachelor's degree in a Canadian top-ranked research institution, we're located in Toronto. York University, in partnership with Best Education Services, invites high school students and parents to seize the opportunity and attend the York University admissions interview on Friday, 27th March 2026 from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. The York undergraduates admissions team that will be present includes the deputy provost, the international student advisor, and the immigration specialist and the regional recruitment manager. This session is specially designed for high school students and parents seeking admission and scholarship opportunities to study at York University in Toronto. Students with offers seeking advice and counsel on visa lodgements, and WASI holders or those yet to sit the WASI exams are welcome to attend. Application fee waivers would be granted to qualified students. And the date is the 27th of March, this very Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. The venue is Best Education Services office located at Atomic Junction, just behind the Atlantic Mall. Call 0256299707 to RSVP. And the Office of the Registrar of Companies is reminding all registered companies, business owners, directors, secretaries, and partners across Ghana to file their annual returns and renew their business names and partnerships by Thursday, 30th April 2026. Filing your annual returns is a legal requirement and helps keep your business transparent, compliant, and in good standing. Companies that fail to file their annual returns with financial statements will be considered non-compliant. You may face penalties ranging from 1,000 to 2,000 cedis depending on the number of years in default. So Do well to avoid these penalties and protect the legal status of your business. File your annual returns and renew your business name before April 30. 0308249841 is the number to call for enquiries. If you want to WhatsApp us, 0599525774 or follow us online ORC Ghana on social media. No, so I'm checking the data, Sky and Francisca, and I'm seeing that look, the Holocaust killed about 6 million Jews.
I don't want us to go there. Let's not do that comparison. Let's not.
You see, these are delicate matters. I think what is important is that the Holocaust happened and it's been acknowledged.
No,
or yesterday, this has also been acknowledged for the people who suffered and their descendants from the transatlantic slavery, from colonization, and as well apartheid. Yeah, I think that's what is important. For me, this is...
I think those two truths can exist
at the same time. Right.
I think I don't agree with... while I understand, I don't agree with it being a Pyrrhic victory, but I understand why it is. It's this information or this event is important because it will, and it probably has started impacting the mindset of the African identity. It changes our appreciation of who we are as Africans. Okay, some of the acceptance of what was done manifested in what I will call as inaccurate or false histories, where Africans were described or perceived as lazy, idle, and so somebody came to save them or to help them develop. That changes a lot of the incorrect narrative about Africans.
That's the misteaching we see around. I mean, if you read several pieces of literature, you would appreciate that it wasn't like we were just some backward people sitting there. I mean, the African race, of course, some accounts suggest that civilization migrated from here.
Yes.
And so it's just unfortunate that you still find some of these things in our own history books. Where, as you recently said, people talk about the advantages of colonization and related things. We have to make
our textbooks.
Exactly. We have to make a conscious effort to change that. I mean, Benin City was not what do you call it? Some backward place.
It wasn't.
It was a modern, society in the true sense of the word, where people knew what they were doing. In fact, some of the artifacts that were looted from that place and taken away, we still find space in many of these museums in the West and all of that. Look, in this day and age, some people still can produce those kinds of artifacts with the quality that was being produced in those
level of precision.
Exactly. So it tells you that, of course, the people who come and distort your history and sort of write about it, because the claim was that, okay, we were not properly documenting our history, it was largely oral and all of that. And so when they begin to tell the story,
it's even inaccurate.
Exactly.
During these periods, a lot of historical materials were destroyed.
They were destroyed. They burned a whole lot. Benin City was burnt. So the point I'm making is that because they claim to have discovered and told the world about it and put it into literature, right? They told the accounts the way they wanted to tell them. You understand? So and because they brought, quote and unquote, formal education and sort of taught these things through the process of getting us to appreciate the new way of educating our people. That's not to say that I don't respect what happened in the old Ghana Empire and the universities that were there.
Mali Empire,
exactly. and everything. I'm not dealing with that history. I'm just saying that if you look at it within that context, a lot of us were miseducated. Many of the things that I have come to know about, I read when I went to the UK. In libraries there,
I read here just that the African Studies Department.
Which is great. You understand? So the question you ask yourself is, why is it that some of these things are not readily available in endemic fashion, so that my child, your son, your daughter in basic school should be able to appreciate these things and know that there is a certain history to the African race, and that appreciation of where you are coming from is important to define you going into the future. Because if you don't know that, some of these things will be sold to you, and you buy them hook, line, and sinker.
Okay. So I was on the floor before.
Oh, forgive me, my
Sky
my
on gentlemanly. Don't mind me, I'm kidding. No, so he makes a fantastic point. I think this is important for our African identity, or our identity as Africans. We get to understand who we were. Okay, something evil happened to the people. Okay, and Ama Etedu makes this in one of her videos you see online, that since our interaction with the West, we haven't been the same. So I think that this presents an opportunity in understanding and appreciating what happened. We can now devise the way forward, okay? Because we still have our problems, some of which we cause ourselves.
But we also played our own part.
Yes, having appreciated what our real identity through our history, through the acceptance, the global acceptance of the history, that presents a way forward for us to now rethink the new African identity. Sky said we have to now look at excellence. We now have to look at development, transformational development. And in going back, we will appreciate some of the things that our forebears, that our ancestors did, that we can use to model our way going forward.
Like Nkrumah talked about the African personality, so we still have a lot of work to do on our side, for example, in projecting our story and actually shaping our own mindsets about who we are, where we've come from, what our history is, and not to buy in the distorted histories that we have fed ourselves, or we've been fed over the period. That means that we still have a lot of work to be doing in that respect, from our schools to our pulpits to the media, in redefining the African mentality and reshaping the narrative in our favor, right? But beyond this, like the question Bernard had asked earlier was, right, so after this resolution has been passed, what more is going to happen in the corridors of power and the UN levels and all?
The truth is that this push has been going on for some time, and I remember that in my earliest years as a reporter, previous governments were dealing with this particular matter. And if you read various attempts that were made before the UN, the call for reparative justice has been going on for some time. In fact, during his years as president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo dealt with aspects of it. John Kufuor also spoke about this matter at some point in time, and the push to get a lot of our people in the diaspora to come back home and help to rebuild, take up citizenship here, and all of these things, are within that particular framework. Now, the question is whether ultimately we will succeed in getting them pay. That is where the problem is. The people who ideally would have been saying that, okay, we recognize our role, and on the basis of that, let us pay something as reparation, have either voted against
or abstained.
I've sort of tried to explain some of the reasons why they said that they were not going to be a part of it. The question is, how do we get them to pay? Mind you,
how do you quantify how much?
That has also been an issue. Some people have proposed all kinds of, mechanisms and formula to use.
Because
and all
I see that the Russian government has offered to help Africa quantify slavery reparation claims, and this is a story on our website.
And so that discussion that people have done academic studies and all of that on it. But I see, the question is whether, and this is also a question we must ask ourselves. Whether it is fair, just, and reasonable to hold Europeans of today Americans of today, Canadians of today, Eastern Europeans of today, responsible for the reprehensible conduct of their forebears, and say that because, as some people say, they are beneficiaries of generational wealth that flowed from some of these criminal conduct. If we look at it with today's lenses, of course, they should pay reparation to us. How just is that? That's a question. I'm not providing an answer.
The question itself is unjust, not you. I think the question itself is unjust.
No, let me finish the other leg of it so that you can. And then the other question that comes up is, what of our own role in this particular matter? Like, if you go to Kajira now in the Ketu South municipality, you find that there are remnants of dungeons that were used by the Europeans, who were acting in cahoots with our own people.
Some.
That's fair. To get these people shipped out of the continent. Now, if you read the history, some of the people we shipped out were the worst of the worst. Like, they had done something against the community, they had embarrassed the community, blah, blah, blah. So they arrest them, convict them, and send them into slavery. Those they would execute at Tokoatolia, which there's the Angloga story where they bury you in a hole and leave you for birds to come and feed on, crows to come and feed on your eyes and all of that. That was also a way of exacting justice and all of that. But these two questions combined demand a certain appreciation from our own viewpoint as to whether historically we have not played critical parts in enabling this thing to go on. Of course, there are those who would say that, okay, well, maybe we didn't know what we were doing, or maybe we were coerced, or
Sky,
whatever
now
it
you
is.
want to answer, you want to give my response.
Okay,
you have to permit me to enter free.
Yeah.
So I think,
you appreciate that I'm not denying.
I appreciate that you are putting questions forward. Exactly. And I'm saying that those questions are unfair. Okay. So I'll start with the very first question about descendants of, permit me to say, colonizers. Okay, the structure of the world. Okay, international trade. What have you? Post-slave, transatlantic slave trade, post-colonization, post-apartheid, continues. It persists. The structure we have today was birthed from these systems. Okay, where the resource-rich parts of the world appear to be what? The less developed, the underdeveloped, the poor nations, the third world nations. Okay, we have structured it as such, and it's emanated from these three evil regimes. Okay, so when you perpetuate that, when you don't make any attempt to undo the web we are in, where even this what do you call it, war between the US and Iran, as well as Israel. Okay, one of the challenges that you will get to appreciate in the troubles happening at the Strait of Hormuz is Africans, we suffer because we depend on colonial routes of trade. Okay, and so we sit here and wait for the impact of what is happening elsewhere, because we've not been able to create our own. We continue to depend on existing routes that were not created for us or in our favor. And so if the descendants say that our ancestors did this to you, and so we have nothing, we are not responsible, or we've done nothing, it cannot hold, because you maintain the system as of today. And neocolonialism continues to exist.
It's been
what are you doing about that? If you indeed agree that such a system deprived somebody of their national identity, their resource, their human resource, then you must do something to avert that. But we don't see that happening. All we hear is the second angle of the question, the second question that Sky puts through, that, oh, you participated in it, and so you cannot now cry foul. That cannot be the situation. We talk about, you see, when we don't paint the picture.
Do you have to first of all concede that there were people, chiefs, family heads, warriors, raiders who took active part in this? We have to be honest with ourselves.
What I will concede to is that we existed as kingdoms, as empires, as what have you, and we had our differences and we had wars, and there were spoils of wars. Okay, if you follow,
and we also had slaves at the time.
If of course. Yeah. I'm coming to that.
Those injustices have to be corrected too.
That's not to say that, you see, that's not to say that we as African people did not commit certain injustices against each other.
That concession. I want you to make that concession before we make progress.
I'm coming. And I'm saying that it is about the magnitude, okay? Sky is making me lose my train of thought. But if you follow the issue about the issue about some Africans participating, you will always have saboteurs. Okay, that cannot be used to as a wand to involve all of us that you were all part in it, and so it doesn't make what we did inhuman or wrong. That cannot be said. Okay, and the fact that you created a system that rewarded the few that participated in this brings the responsibility back to you. You created a certain economy for that. But I wanted to address this issue we hear or read in Western books that Africans participated in slavery and they also had slavery. But the devil is in the detail. When you follow, is it Professor or Dr. Peby's books on slavery? Okay, the distinction of the slavery that happened here, whether in what you talked about in Volta or in Ashanti, it did not reduce a human being to a chattel.
It did not strip them of their
dignities. It did not strip them of their identity. Okay, nor did it curtail the possibility of a certain advancement of their lives. Sky, the word aqua in translation is reduced to an unfair category called slavery. I don't know the word in Sky, let me land. Okay. I don't know the word for ewe in maybe you educate me for aqua. But the problem
aqua, is it slavery? Like Cluvy?
You see, the slavery in aqua was if we went to war with another tribe or group, the people we picked, after some they were punished. You will be in servitude for punishment. You were not an item, you were not a thing. After a number of years, you would be given something small to set yourself up or depart, or you would even be permitted to marry from the same group that held you in captivity. You were not treated, you were not stripped of your identity, your name. You were not forced to take on.
Now you are putting this thing now on a gradient of some kind.
I'm coming.
Which I believe it's
Sky, my first sentence was that we committed evil against each other. But that should not become a weapon to justify
for you to scale slavery. It into an economic activity.
Exactly.
A whole system.
Thank you for bringing it to me, Ellie. The whole point of the transatlantic slavery cannot be the same as the aqua system that you had. The point of colonization, this was largely and on the face of it for economic gain, and the West indeed improved in terms of economic superiority after this period, after even quite recent apartheid. Do you get my point? And so it is not fair to say, oh, some of your ancestors were part of it. The system was beyond them. And a system that was created to benefit. We are not saying that as Africans we are all good and we didn't do any evil. But we are saying that there's a certain humongous spider web that persists even, and Nkrumah called it what? Neocolonization. If you take the terms of even international trade, you when you are drafting contracts and you read the terms of a lot of these international trade deals, don't you put your chin in your palm sometimes and just sigh?
Exactly.
So that is not to say that we are innocent or we are not guilty or we didn't participate. But I'm saying that when you have an octopus of a system, it is insignificant to point to a tiny fish. What's the tiniest fish? Is it the bobitadi or something? It is insignificant to point to that tiny fish when there's an octopus.
That made a contribution. So
I understand your struggle. You see, we can make a case. Because, you see, we can make a case for recognition of this huge crime against humanity, right? And demand that certain corrective steps be taken to deal with them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, recognize our own role in furthering the cause of those who enslaved us.
Sky, we continue to further that role, even with the structure of our society right now.
Please go on.
You know, but for some reason, Kakra is not trying to do that, because there's a reason why I'm making the point.
Sky.
You see, there are people along the coast today, inland and far up north, who are also living on generational wealth built over the years through slavery. Now, people of Ghana and the world, please hear me clearly. I object to the idea of slavery. I abhor it in all its forms. That is why the biblical foundation that is sometimes used as basis to get some of these things done, I object to it. In any event, you and I were not there when the Bible was being written, right? But the point has got to be made that slavery in all its forms is a terrible thing. And these are historical injustices that have undermined so many things about us as Africans. Many other races have suffered it. And if there is an opportunity to address those things, it is important we do. What I'm saying is that while we demand that, and I believe that we should demand it, and ensure that that recognition is given, we ourselves, people who just because they like somebody's wife, right? Hold on, no, yeah, the accounts are there.
Sure.
People sometimes caused other people to be sold into slavery just because they want to take that person's wife. Mm-hmm. Do you understand the point I'm making? So I'm saying that it was that trivial. It was that
the two truths can coexist, right?
That is the point I'm
Don't say that I'm not conceding. You see, I like the word that he used. Some of it is trivial. How do you compare the sin of that tiny fish to the sin of the octopus? And I did make a point. I'm coming. I did make a point that
because you see,
you see,
there's no small slavery,
because there's the
slavery.
Accounts of history.
Yes.
In a lot of accounts of history that are written for us, we are accused or we are said to have participated. But there was a grand scheme. There was a grander participation. We cannot now overlook that and say because there was a minuscule participation, you cannot. It is intended to silence the conversation about colonization and slave trade. That because
there's also time for that conversation.
We cannot talk about it.
We can have those honest conversations at the same time.
Because the conversation.
You know why? Because
let me finish. I'll come here. The reason I was earlier bringing you the numbers, for example, from the no, I'm coming. I'm not getting. You see, because there's time also to discuss. Okay, there's time for that conversation about our own contributions to what must have existed. But you've also heard from Kakra's account the details and the level, the granular details of what the slavery that took place was. Because if you are looking at the cultural implications, I mean, at the time there was conquest. People could go to war, and then you take the people you have annexed or fought, and you bring them home. But how did you treat them? Did you rip them of their identity? Did you strip them of their human dignity? So if you are looking at the scale at which transatlantic slave trade took place, the numbers, and you are comparing that to what happened here, and whether or not the people contributed to that, it will not be fair to put the two together.
During colonization, it was the rule of the colonizer. Okay, from the political to the cultural to the social, they were in charge. Okay, so when the people, they were governing the land essentially. Call it autocratic.
So there was a power imbalance.
There was a power imbalance, but the fact that they
we didn't
governed
have agency at the time. Kakra, what are you saying? Well,
we had agency during colonization, and yet how come we were told that everything about us, our religion, our cultures, even our education, we were told that they were antiquated, and that this was the modern. We were introduced to modern religions, new identities. We have to carry English names, etc. Sky, I'm making the point that there's a certain structure. The person who was in charge ruled and gave the order for the day, even economic wise. And so you can't latch on a one person who is seeking to benefit themselves.
Mind you that one person. So there were African imperialists who were raiding other cultures.
Yes.
and attacking them because they felt superior, getting those people and selling them into slavery. You see,
I'm saying that we were already doing that with ourselves.
That recognition. But let's also make a concession that yes, we played our own part.
No, you see, nobody is saying those didn't happen. But we will not say that we played a part in the colonization. You didn't even, the Africans sitting here were not part of the Berlin Conference. The Africans were minding their business somewhere.
But that is an entirely different matter.
Well, did we go and sit there and say, yes, we will participate, come to our country and come and divide us and extract our resources? No, somebody came here and engineered a certain society to benefit, to make it the business of the day. It's the same crisis we see with Galamsey. When you made it, what's the word? When you made it fruitful, or you made it, give me the word, Sky. Profitable. What did you think was going to happen? We didn't have any agency. We did not control our economies. Our economies had long changed to the economy of the world today. To what? Money. And once slavery became the tool to make, the avenue to make money, everybody was going to participate in it. So you cannot come there. You see, there's a certain perceptive part about colonization that we don't talk about. If I change your mind view about how you see things, no, but that is part of colonization. The control of the mind, the change of the mind. If our minds were not changed, how would we have got to the point? I'm coming. If there wasn't a certain imposition of thought, in how we thought, how did we at some point come to ridicule our own culture? How did we get to that? We used to feel embarrassed to even wear some of these tie and dyes and African prints. We used to want to, we aspired to be westernized. Tell me I'm wrong.
And you are saying that came through false.
There was a mental part of it.
Deliberate.
We used to look. I mean, some of us are young, but if you follow the history, we were all idealized to become Westerners because that was deemed as the ideal, the model. And so it's I find it simplistic to reduce it to your participation when
there's no reduction. I think there's a mischaracterization of the call for.
When there was a cognitive aspect, a mental aspect of colonization that we've not even spoken about. And so you cannot say that that person was in their right mind. They were in the mind of aspiring to be a Westerner. That's my point, and that's why I feel that there's no need for that concession. And once again, these responses, and Sky, it's not about you, they come up from the very people who acted out the colonization.
I think there have been very honest, intellectuals who have made these concessions, and we should respect their intelligence. Look, the truth is that even if you look at the Bond of 1844, right? If you read the history, you'll be told that one of the reasons why the chiefs decided eventually to sign it was because they felt that they needed a certain protection from some other people who were constantly raiding them, right?
Yes.
And when they raided them, what did they do? They arrested those they would take to where they are taking them, and they sold some into slavery, right? Of course, eventually the Brits came in and forfeit protection and slavery and all of these things.
Say that part very well. He says, of course, they came in and offered. I want you to say that part with the same tone. Because what did they think they were signing? They were signing a certain agreement for protection.
Of course,
which metamorphosed into what? Say it.
Some accounts suggest that. No, Kakao, that's okay. I'm not doing violence to your. This submission, right? I'm not doing violence to it. I'm just saying that on the facts, there's a certain suggestion that some of the chiefs or all of them didn't know what they were signing. They thought that they were signing A.
There is that.
Yes, that is why, and in law, there's a certain requirement that the parties to the agreement need to know what they are doing. And where one party doesn't know what he's doing, you need to take steps to ensure that he understands what he's doing and is doing properly. But we are not going to litigate that.
One party does not understand a certain language, or what we will say illiterate, it must be explained to that party
in the language they understand.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. The point is that you and I were not there, right? You and I were not there. But an agreement was signed regardless. But what was the basis of the signing of the agreement? Some accounts suggest that there were people who constantly came to attack these communities. Now the question is, why were they attacking them? And the conduct of some of those people, what happened after the fact of raiding these places and the selling them? Are you saying that you will not be, kind enough to make concessions that, of these things, were in excess of
I did say, I'm coming.
And that because of our own rules in these matters, we should temper some of the conversations with
we had our own challenges.
I think it's just fair.
We had our own warfare.
You are calling it challenge. It wasn't a challenge.
People.
That had happened. Yes.
You are saying you are calling it a challenge, and I find that not particularly objectionable.
Whatever characterization you want to use, I did say that we had groups fighting wars against each other.
For land
but
and all.
For somebody to intervene supposedly as an arbiter, as a neutral third party,
and end up being a beneficiary of that
now
system.
ruling us all.
Yes.
That is a problem. That is what's the word? That is dishonest, because that was not how you came into the conversation in the first place. If Sami and I are fighting and Caleb comes in and says he's going to offer me protection, and Caleb now comes and subdues both of us, we call him Yes and Massa, what does that mean? That means that we participated. I'm saying that the conversation about participation is needless if you break down the whole entire transatlantic slavery, colonization, and apartheid. The most important or the most successful part of it was the imposition of thought, how we thought. That is so important.
But you're not liberated.
You think you are liberated?
No, you are liberated.
Let me bring in some messages here.
You are liberated.
On the vote against.
No, you see, let the people.
Let me bring in some
there are people who.
I think everyone appreciates.
No, but there are people out there who don't understand the nuance of what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I think
it's unfortunate that there are those people.
Your turn to answer that question. That question is a very good question, Sky. But Nkrumah must return from his grave to answer that question.
Which one?
We cannot simply say, "Are you?" They're asking me, "Am I liberated?" And I also threw the question at you, and I'm saying that we need Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah
to come and answer the question whether we are liberated today.
I think he would have failed if those of us who have survived
are unable to answer that question, whether or not we are liberated.
But are you able to answer that question?
For myself,
I'm not able to answer that question.
Right. Let me bring in some messages at this point.
You speak with such eloquence and elegance about what may or may not have happened. It's from a certain liberated mind, an appreciation of the fact.
But liberation is not a destination, Sky.
On the vote against, by the three countries, here's my take. I'm not surprised about Argentina. The Nazis went there, and their current races be okay. So to America, simple, because Donald Trump and his fastest-leaning government. Again, not surprised. 3, shocking. Israel. A country formed on discrimination by Nazi Germany. Okay, so I'm not. I'm continuing that. Good morning, Caleb. Kwesi Pratt Jr. made a point in one of his interviews about why the West is reluctant to accept the Reparation Act. He explained that the act is not just about monetary compensation, rather, its core purpose is to bring about a broader reset of the global status quo. For example, the African continent, with a population of over 1 billion people, has no representation on the United Nations Security Council. This is largely because at the time the United Nations was formed, most African countries were still under colonial rule. Such a reset could therefore strengthen Africa's case for a place on the Security Council, which is one of the reasons there may be resistance to the resolution. This is from Ezekiel Young. He said that. And then this one has no name, but he disagrees with Sky's point. So I think that goes to speak
he says Sky should stop it.
Sky doesn't agree with
I think we need to realize that we can't, we should be honest about these conversations.
Fair point well made. But moving forward, I think the point that at the time that the United Nations was being formed, much of African countries were under colonial rule, and so we do not have spaces on the Security Council, for example. Some of these, this particular resolution would then pave the way for us to make more demands for representation on these boards. So on these councils, beyond the compensation in terms of monetary, there is that part about representation and being heard, being represented, all of that being part of the conversation?
Well, I mean, the conversation around reforming the UN is a big one. In fact, the likes of the late Kofi Annan spoke about it, that what pertained in the 1940s, when the UN was formed after the Second World War, which basically succeeded the earlier League of Nations, is not what we see today. There are shifts in power, and there are also new realities that would need to be taken into account. The fact that there were big boys, 5, who decided that their interests needed to be served and they should decide how the rest of the world should live. At that time, does not mean that if we measure that against current day realities, they will still have the same set of, authority. India is rising. If you take Africa as an entire block, it's so unjust that a nation of a continent of 1.3, 1.4 billion people, we don't have a permanent voice. So that when it comes to decisions, some people do have special powers to veto decisions that have been taken by the majority as against
a few mighty and powerful.
So that conversation is fair. If you take typically, for example, what happened in the case of Libya, nobody should hold brief for some of the excesses we saw under the Gaddafi regime, right? But what was the basis of destroying that country? They said that there was a UN resolution that they resurrected, quickly mobilized, some Western forces to go and bomb that country into submission. What do we have now? The idea was to liberate the people, but Libya is now a failed state practically. A number of people claiming to be in charge of the administration of that state. But if you look at the history, what it was before the Western so-called liberation, right? You can say that many people would rather be under that kind of regime as opposed to what they are facing daily today. You understand? But it was the use of a certain authority that the UN has, the Security Council resolution, they call it. They say, we have the authority to intervene where we believe that a certain race is threatened or a certain, a group of people are threatened. And so the so-called prohibition against force is no longer active in those, circumstances. Yes, reforms must be made. The question is whether the big shots, the people you say who still own who still run the world,
well, if you can go into somebody's country and pick up their president,
whether they would respect that, because as we do know, these laws are in place that you should not violate another country's sovereignty. Yet we saw what America did in Venezuela. We are seeing what America is doing to Cuba. I mean, nobody in his right conscience should allow some of these things to happen. There are ways. The reason we set up the UN is to use that as an institution to debate the issues and find diplomatic solutions, and that the use of force becomes the last resort. For some reason, we are going back to the days of old, where if you have military might, you can march into Troy.
Survival of the fittest.
Exactly. Beat them into submission and then own their women, own their children, and own their spaces.
Their resources.
And I do not, and their resources. I don't think that we should get there. And it will call for a certain appreciation of what we are, a certain appreciation of the fact that we are equals as human beings, and that we should deal on the basis of that to be able to get these things out of the way. As for reforms, they must happen, but the question is there are huge stumbling blocks, and these blocks are the 5 big boys who are sitting on the Security Council and who from time to time ask us to come and sit in. And
I'm particularly interested in the artifacts that were taken during these periods. We do talk about reparations, etc. Some people think it will happen automatically. Some say not necessarily.
But some are bringing them back.
It's a Pyrrhic victory. That's fine. The reparations may take forever, but I'm particularly interested in these artifacts because I believe that we have a certain connection to these things, and the farther away they are from us, the worse off we are. These things communicate between us and our forebears, the people that were here before us. They communicate certain certain cultural values, certain values of who we are. I was looking at Sky's shirt and I was admiring the Edinkra symbols there, and I can only explain maybe 2 or 3 out of it. You see, and that in itself is a question about the kind of education that we have abandoned and the kind that we are pursuing. Our education needs to, and that is why this whole I think that by President Mahama is symbolically important, because now we have to look within. We are not saying that we are going to be inward as a country or as a continent, but we have to look within, because some of the work in order to transform ourselves have been done for us by the people who came before. But bring back, you know, these looted items.
They bring it back as loans and say we have to return it after some years.
They bring it back. It's like the cup sitting in Senegal. You bring it back first.
You see, sometimes I think. Again, let's have an honest conversation.
Skype, I'm coming. But for some, you come and say we participated. Fine.
No, it's not about participating. Don't do that. You are dismissing a core pillar of.
Let me just conclude.
Sky,
some of these artifacts carry the spirits of the people, the communities that made them, and we need to reconnect that back. We need that reconnection for our full.
in that reconnection, Sky is asking for honest conversation. No, today we are in the arena, so you have to understand.
We have to connect with the ancestral world.
We have to. Now, you are saying that in that reconnection there must be honest conversation. Which other honest conversation should we be looking at? Yes.
Look, it is one thing saying that you want these things back. It is another thing creating the conditions to be able to receive them.
I've read people say that if those in these museums were here, we would have destroyed them.
I'm coming. When they were here, were they sitting in museums before they were looted?
No. You see, things deteriorate over time. And the people in the archaeology space, there are specific names. They have special
curators.
Curators and all of that.
Curators in these museums.
There's a certain temperature expected in some of these spaces.
But the thing was made and kept in Africa.
Sitting in a temperate zone, and we have to maintain a temperature.
Wait. Don't dismiss it.
I don't say that we don't have the competence.
No, hold on.
Made here.
Wait.
And pretend that we did.
You see, you can make things here, right? And do your best to want to preserve them. But over time they go bad. Some of these things are 5,000 years old.
No, you
some 2,000 years old. No, it's the truth.
Yeah, but we have the competence.
It's a valid point. In Ghana, we don't necessarily have a maintenance culture.
Exactly. You go to Benin, right?
That's notwithstanding. It doesn't mean because we haven't developed that maintenance culture, what belongs to us should stay elsewhere.
You see.
Because it's for me, it's so much about the connection with these things.
Go to our museum. No,
but the things when they were made, they weren't in a museum. Why has it become a standard to keep them in museums? Because somebody says so?
No, you see, Kakra. So if these things are returned today, who would they be given?
We have to figure out.
We should figure out. We have not made up our minds on that.
That is why we need to go back.
Let us develop the system.
And appreciate if our ancestors were able to keep them.
They say we don't need a museum.
I'm saying that let's develop the system, and rightfully, I believe these things must come back.
So we should wait.
But we must have a way of properly storing them when they come.
Well, no.
Mensha is the.
So we'll get into the honor series for this morning. Interesting conversations, but if you're looking for motor insurance that goes the extra mile, Hollard Insurance has something special for you this 2026. You don't want to miss. Insure your car with Hollard and enjoy extra rewards. New customers get to drive away with free vouchers when they sign up. Existing customers get exclusive gifts when they renew. 24/7 free roadside assistance for everyone. You're never stuck on the road. That's the value we give you. Call us now, 0800 444 999. Visit any of our offices, Hollard or speak to your broker today. Hollard Insurance, we've got you covered. And we are going to the World Cup. It's happening at America, Canada, and Mexico. And we are uniting world-class football with global business in one unforgettable journey. And the link between world-class football and global business is Litina Travels. We'll give you a great package. So call us on 0244 260 789 0302 934 565. Litina, visit our office at Alisa Hotel North Road and secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime journey. We have a fuel buddy for you. We make sure your fuel payments are seamless, secure, and 100% cashless. That's just how we roll. Individuals and companies alike, you get control and convenience, and make sure you fuel your car or fleet without the hassle. Omni Basic MasterCard Fuel Card is your new essential for the road. So visit any Omni Basic branch today and get that one for yourself, the Omni Basic MasterCard Fuel Card. Call us 0800 100 790. Omni Basic Bank is not just another bank. And Piva Beverages is offering you a best of flavor in every sip. We have Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, and Piva Tangy. So grab yours today. 055 0032 231. Piva Beverages, a taste you will love. So we'll take a very quick break. When we're back, we'll bring you the Heritage On Air series.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It's a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244 313 368 or 0540 111 978 or 0202 021 175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangy fruit drink, bursting with tangy flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055 00 322 31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
In Ghana, planning ahead is something we grew up with. It's in the small things. Filling your barrels and buckets just in case the taps don't flow tomorrow. Parents buying school shoes 2 or 3 sizes too big so you can grow into them. Or wrapping your books carefully so that they can be passed down to the next child. It's how we've always looked out for the future. Quietly, thoughtfully, every day.
For 20 years, we've understood what Ghanaians have always known. Planning today secures tomorrow. It's the reason we provided life insurance solutions for every aspect of your future. Star Life didn't introduce planning ahead, we only made it better. Why? Because it's who you've always been. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
We are starlight, your solid partner for life.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Ago.
Ago. You're welcome once again to the Heritage On Air series right here on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM. This is the 2026 edition, and for over 20 years we've been having heritage conversations on this show in the Heritage Month of March. Now this year is no different. We're focusing on our people, the places that make Ghana what it is, our music, and of course our food, because we know as Ghanaians we love our food. It's a huge part of who we are, and it is my pleasure to take you through this journey of this food heritage. My name is Apioko Sayer. I'm a Shong Abe. You can call me Apioko, and we are proudly sponsored by GTP. Now today I bring back my guest. I've had her on before, and she's no stranger to Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, and she'll be just joining me very shortly. And we'll be talking today about something very important and very interesting. It's our heritage where food is concerned, but we're going to be talking about food as business and heritage tourism. Let's breathe and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still the Heritage On Air series right here on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Apioko. Now, this week, we've been celebrating our food heritage as Ghanaians, and today we want to take it a notch higher because there's the heritage, but what are we doing with it? Taking the past, the present, and carrying it into the future. And we believe that food and business tourism, so food as business and heritage tourism is the way that we can preserve our food for generations to come. Now, my guest today, no stranger, like I said, if you didn't catch it in the intro, is Auntie Bella, Madam Bella Ahu. She's a CEO of Traffics, and we're going to have this conversation because she's a businesswoman. She's done the food business for decades. However, she's also very passionate about packaging our food for tourism. Auntie Bella, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our heritage village,
yes,
where we are taking in the early morning village vitamin C.
I'm grateful to be here.
Yes, we're here.
Yes.
Vitamin D.
Yes.
So, Auntie Bella, I always say, and every time I see you, I mention it, the fact that you are the person who really took street food culture as, in many ways, as we've known it as Ghanaians, into the restaurant setting. So, let's revisit that. The last time we spoke, you mentioned that you did that because you felt, look, there are some people who want to wear their suits, they want to wear their kaba and slit, but they don't want to go and stand by the roadside. Yes. And it's a fact we have to face. And so you brought the traditional food into the restaurant so that they can still come, be served, feel comfortable, but then also you're elevating the status, quote unquote, of the food. So let's start from there. Food business. Why is it important to do things like what you did for our heritage as far as Ghanaian food is concerned?
Thank you so much. I actually brought the street food to the restaurant because, as you rightly mentioned earlier, we want people to feel like kings and queens. Service is different, environment is different, and taste probably may be different. And your dignity is preserved. So that's why we did that. We cook in a very clean environment. Those coming to serve you are so clean and so courteous. So you experience a different kind of service. Presentation in front of you, you wouldn't believe is the same muache that you still have everything, you still have your leaves, You you still have your leaves, you still have your wache, you have your vegetables, and your protein is assured, whether chicken or fish, well spiced, is still assured. But the service, the packaging is actually improved. And those listening up there who are on the roadside, we are not saying leave the roadside. You are welcome there, but the environment should be cleaner. Your hygiene should improve. What you wear to serve the people should be clean, and so that we preserve our health, we preserve our heritage. This is how it is done. This is how it is served. So what we are asking now is, let the environment be clean, let the service up your game.
Up your game.
Up your games. And let the service be attractive. Customer care is what comes in. How do you serve your customers? How do you retain your customers? Why will they come back? They will come back. Is it because of taste? Is it because of your environment? Is it because of how your hospitality? Why will the people come back? So these are things you have to seriously learn. And I'm urging all of colleagues who are cooks up there, who serve the public up there, to observe these things that we are talking about. It's very, very important.
So you've highlighted some very important things when it comes to business, customer service, the presentation, just really all the things that would make a customer come once but also return. Or we say repeat business. That's what we say, repeat business. So that you can say that, oh, he's my customer. Like you like to say, oh, she's my customer. I am a customer. But Auntie Bella, so we've spoken about street foods before. There are people who feel that, our heritage foods, they should just be as they are. Why package them? Why bother about presenting them in a way that they would feel is not authentically Ghanaian? Why is it important to rethink and reimagine how we present our foods, Ghanaian foods for that matter, if we really want them to be marketed as tourism elements?
It is very important because we migrate. We get visitors from globally. We get visitors. And for the global community to come and see your surrounding not appetizing, your food may be very nice, but your environment alone will put them off. And that is why we are saying, even if there is a gutter in front of you, cover it and make sure people who are coming and people who will give you the repeat visit see that at least you've done, your environment is clean. We are also anxious to export our food. Let's take, for example, Garifoto. Plains living Ghana, I would advise that the food on board should be Ghanaian. And Garifoto is one of our dishes that is not messy. When you talk, the suggestions are that your food is messy.
Your food is messy.
It's messy. It's not every food of ours.
We are not saying you should serve food on the plane.
No.
There are others that
can
handle well.
Yes. Our jollof can go. Our Garifoto in particular can go. What is wrong with our Garifoto? There's nothing messy about our Garifoto. So I made the attempt of putting our Garifoto on board. The furthest it went was the local African countries with our plantain chips, with our roasted granules. And so let's all be thinking of how our local dishes can be exported. One thing I also do is I collaborate with the tour operators. When they come, when they bring the tourists, they inculcate into their package learning our cuisine.
Okay.
And when they come, the things they are interested in is our kilewili, our red, our garifoto, our jollof. When they come into the kitchen, oh, I want to do this. I will peel the onions. I will do the ginger. I will do this. I will do this. So, before you realize, they cook and they eat and they pay. Something they have, we provide
So
the ingredients.
Cook, they eat and they pay. It's also a business model.
Exactly. It's a business model. And so there is so much up there that we can do to keep our heritage. For them coming to learn how to prepare kilewili and all that, it's a way of learning the Ghanaian cuisine, and which was left for us by our forebears. Yet we are exporting it. They go back, wherever they are coming from, plantain is there. Some even go to the Makola market, buy gari to take along, and go and prepare their garifoto. So our heritage has evolved, and it has come to be business.
Heritage has evolved.
Yes.
And it's become business.
Business.
And I think that's a very important point you're making, because I think sometimes we like to be stuck in the past. We like to be stuck in the past. Oh, the way
we do it.
The way we do it. Yeah, and sometimes the way you do it is not the way it should even have been done, but it became the way. You know, so if we can improve or change with the times, that's important.
Yes, ingredients may not change, but packaging, the preparation can change. You know, for garifoto, for example, formerly I was taught is the oil from the gravy, but now it is the gravy itself.
The gravy itself.
It's the gravy itself.
So
not
it used
only
to be the oil from the gravy that I used for the garifoto.
Yes.
But now you make the gravy.
Specifically
for the
garifoto. So you are eating it, and it's a complete meal. Just add some veg. Complete meal. Well packaged, and garifoto is the best selling at my restaurant, especially with the takeaways.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Is it because it's easy to carry?
No, it's because you would not even know you are eating garifoto.
Oh.
It's not the dry type of garifoto.
The gari is moist.
And the vegetables around it. It's mixed with so many other things, eggs all over. And you will not even know that it's garifoto. So nutritious. The look of it alone is inviting. And so I am fighting that this should be on our flight.
On our flights. Auntie Bella, I'll come back to you on that, because I'm very interested in the concept of gari itself, and how a lot of people feel that gari is excuse me to say, poor man or poor man's food.
No.
So I want us to take a break. I'll come back to that. This is the Heritage On Air Series 2026 right here on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM. This week we're celebrating the heritage of Ghanaian food. And today we're talking about food as business and heritage tourism. I'm here with Madam Bella Ahu, my Auntie Bella, CEO of Traffics, and she's taking us through this journey as we have the conversation. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still the Heritage On Air series right here on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. My name is Apioko. In this series this month, we've been celebrating our places, our people, our music, and of course, why I'm here, our food. And today, my guests and I are having a conversation about food as business and heritage tourism. Before we went on the break, Madam Bella Ahu, who is here with me today, and she's the CEO of Traffics, spoke a lot about business, what we should be thinking about if we want to continue to preserve the heritage of our foods. We need to be thinking business, we need to be thinking customer service. We also need to be thinking about how to deliberately, consciously export our foods. So, Auntie Bella, before we went on the break, we spoke about gari. You mentioned that garifoto, you strongly believe, should be on our flights, flights leaving from Ghana.
Yes.
So, the authorities that be, the powers that be, need to be thinking about this, advocating to get foods like, yes, jollof is there, but gari photo, which is easily manageable for a flight, we should also be advocating for that. And then, of course, if we do get our own national carrier, that would also be easy. We don't have to go and negotiate with anybody. We decide that this is a food we want to put across to the world. Right. But I want us to talk a little bit about gari itself, Auntie Bella. You mentioned that when people come to your restaurant, one of the highest selling meals, most popular, is a gari photo, because it's moist, it's got the veggies around it, you know, and people don't even realize, you don't, subconscious, you know you're eating gari photo, but you don't think about the gari when you're eating, you're just enjoying a meal. I think that we've really shortchanged gari.
Yes, I agree with you.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, as we all know, gari is from cassava, grated, squeezed, and dried, and made into gari. I don't know why we've shortchanged it, because it's one thing that keeps for long. I haven't seen gari going off, unless probably it can only be flat. And if you allow air to go in. And I don't know why we think it's one of the lowest thing. But for me, gari is one of the things that can take over a lot of things. Come to traffic and have fried gari, like we have fried rice. You wouldn't know it's gari.
So you stir fry it.
You stir fry it with beef, with fish, with chicken, whatever. That makes fried rice.
But that's similar to what the Brazilians do with their farofa, which is their gari.
Yes,
precisely. You know, so we can do things
that
with our own spices and flavors.
Everything. With our own spices. You stir fry, and with your veggies around it, just like you mix in your spring onions in the fried rice. You mix the same. You are just replacing the rice with gari, and you will love it. So gari is something that is valuable. I was told somebody was preparing, you know, agbelekaklu is from cassava itself. And somebody told me a woman is using just the gari. And so I decided to go visit. To my surprise, she only added water with slices of onions, and
so instead of going through the whole process of processing the cassava, grating it, as we do for the agbelikaklo. And for those who don't know, agbelikaklo is a cassava snack. You know, very popular. We eat it with the hard slices of the hard coconut. You know, or banchikaklo, as the Akans will say. So you are saying that this lady has taken just the gari, added water, and onions,
well spiced, and it's difficult to differentiate that agbelekaklo that we know from what she's doing. I was surprised. I thought she was going to be scared of teaching, but she said, "No, come and learn it. Maybe I also learned something from you." And it was amazing. The taste and everything is just.
And you have to come and teach us how to do this one. You have to learn how to do this. No, because it's interesting.
Very interesting.
And agbelikaklo is one of those things that, you know, at the back of our minds, it's difficult to prepare.
Yes,
it takes
but she has
time.
left all the difficult processes and taken the product itself and made it into agbelikaklo.
I love it.
And it's very interesting. So, and she does it in a way that if you are watching her, it's amazing. It's amazing. Is this gari changed into this? And after that, she put it in a plate, put the hard coconut and granules by it. Auntie Bella, this is your snack. And it's amazing. So there is a lot of our things that we've inherited. There's a lot to preserve. So this agbelekaklo, if it's well packaged, you can imagine the kind of snacks it will be, and how it can travel. Yes, because it's not something that is messy, and it's not something that goes off like that.
So, Anspe, so in talking about this business of food, heritage tourism of food, we've used the word travel a lot. The food has to travel. But sometimes it may not just be the food, but the concept of the food.
Yes.
So I want to ask, abroad, there are cookbooks. And now we have some Ghanaians also writing some cookbooks. And there are some notable ones, Serving Ghana by Dr. Bonzi Simpson, a few. But how important, and maybe it's not important at all, it's a question that I'm throwing to you, but do you think that's necessary for us to start writing cookbooks?
It's very, very necessary. In fact, the late Flair has done a lot of work on that together with myself. And we're actually coming out with an interesting cookbook of our own. And how some of the things are being infused. We're coming up with cookbook all across the regions, the 16 regions. Things that are popular with every region. We are sitting in that, our snacks, our breakfast, and our main meals. They are all coming up in that cookbook. So let's watch out for that book.
We are watching out for it.
It will come out.
But Auntie Bella, so what do you think? So someone like you, you mentioned the late Flair, may she rest in peace. Flair Catering Services did so much to put Ghanaian cuisine on the map as well. But people like you, you've been successful in the food business. You set the tone for a contemporary restaurant business, if you like, or catering business, because you don't just do the restaurant, you also cater for events, for individuals, companies, and all that. But you've achieved that success. Why would you want to go the extra mile writing a cookbook? It tells me that it's important, and I want to stay there.
It's very important because our heritage needs documentation. It needs documentation. For it shouldn't be when the last grandma dies. It goes with everything. Those behind should know how these things are done, and even improve, progressively improve. It's still authentic. Every ingredient is intact, but presented or modernized to the current times. Is very necessary. That's preservation of our heritage. Very memorable things that you can think of are preserved. I clearly remember the smell of pamno soup Christmas time with the akuko besan. If you're passing under somebody's house, you can straight of all tell that really it's Christmas and some chicken is in trouble. And you smell the akuko besan. But those herbs, how do we preserve them? How do we plant them and make sure we use them? I'm advising that almost every restaurant should have a small garden where some of these things are grown, and it's authentic to know that this is pamno soup with the local
spices,
herbs in it. And I tell you, it's an interesting thing, and it's an interesting taste to have.
Beautiful. So, Auntie Bella, let's also talk about, so we've spoken about cookbooks, documentation.
Yes.
But you mentioned something, modernizing the meals as well.
Yes.
Now they call it upscaling.
It's
upscaling the meal.
Yes.
Why is that also important? So that now we have fusion meals and all of that.
It's very important because of our movements, our migration.
Back to migration.
Yes. Where you find yourself, maybe in your home, the spices you use are not where you are. So it should be whatever you have available, you should use it. But not losing sight of the authenticity of
so
the
you
food.
should know what the alternative spices are, alternative ingredients.
It's a whole study of spices. It's a whole study of spices. What to use and on what. It's a whole study that one needs to know about. If we have a he-goat, we all know the smell of the he-goat. That's when some people, if they don't even want to wash their hands because they want to be smelling the he-goat. What spices should we use so that it doesn't take that away, or that can take it away? You have to study and know all because it's not everybody who wants to have the smell on the hand.
They are going for a board meeting.
And you are smelling he-goat. What can you use to clean it off? Or what can you use to maintain it? All these things are studies that one has to make and be sure of what you are doing. You're having your heritage still at the back of your mind, because we don't want to lose them. We need to maintain them for posterity.
And also it improves, people are attracted to business. So people will buy not just because they want, but because of the story surrounding it. And so when we preserve these things, we're also preserving the storytelling, the narrative, as we say, around the food. But also adding for generations so it remains relevant.
It remains relevant.
Auntie Bella, it's been a joy to have you, as always. This has been the Heritage On Air series here on 97.3 Citi FM. Relevant Radio, always talking about relevance. And of course, Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change. And we're telling stories here. We've been talking about food this week, looking at our food, who we are, what we eat, how it defines us, what the past has given to us as far as our food heritage is concerned, how we are engaging that heritage in the present, and what we need to do if we want to make sure that the generations after us come to meet it, how we can preserve it, how we can carry it, catapult it into the future. My name is Apioka. I've been here with Madam Bella Ahu. Auntie Bella, I call her. She's the CEO of Traffics, and you need to look for Traffics. I know they're doing some renovations. Very soon, I look forward to going into the kitchen, being one of the first to taste the new experience that Auntie Bella and her team have to offer. It's been a joy to have her. And we want to say a very big thank you to GTP. GTP, I mean, can I say they're one of the fabrics of the nation, you know? And we thank you very much for supporting us to tell the Ghanaian story in the Heritage Month of March.
Ago.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
So it's 44 after 9 now, and Onukpa Eric Sonny of CFAO and Mercedes Sales and Admin. It's your birthday, blessed birthday. This is from your wife and kids. You are the best. If you're ready to take your career to the next level, or you want to add that powerful legal edge to your professional toolkit, the University of Ghana School of Law has officially opened admissions for post-first degree, LLB and master's programs with a first degree from any recognized institution. You're eligible to join us. Our programs are built for everyone, whether your background is in business, science, arts. You don't need a prior law degree to apply. For the post-first degree LLB, the deadline is Sunday, 31st March 2026. And for the master's program, deadline is Sunday, 31st July. Our classes are specifically designed for working professionals from Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you can work all day and lead by night. UG School of Law provides a global legal education right here in Ghana with international partnerships with Ivy League giants like Harvard, Columbia, and UPenn. Call Naomi on 053-133-0203. WhatsApp Oba on 055-137-1319. Visit law.ug.edu.gh. Don't just watch the future happen. Come shape it with us. Join the University of Ghana School of Law today. Now, do you drive or own your car? Or own a car? Then make sure you're protected with motor insurance you can trust. Provident Insurance offers comprehensive third-party fire and theft and third-party only motor insurance with fast, stress-free claims payments. Insure from January to March and enjoy fuel coupons, exclusive branded souvenirs, terms and conditions apply. Visit any of Providence Insurance's 16 branches nationwide. We have agency outlets or your licensed broker. Call us on 050-937-4928 for enquiries. Visit providentga.com for more information. Remember, your Ghana card is required for individuals, 10 for corporate clients. With Provident, man, you are covered. So just so you know, South African Airways, aside flying to Johannesburg and Cape Town, would like to fly you to Lusaka in Zambia, so you continue the Fugu conversation on Mauritius for relaxation vibes, to Perth and Australia, to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, Abidjan, our next door neighbors, and many more of our growing destinations. Fly SAA for an enhanced flying experience. Book on flysaa.com. Contact us on 0244-344-583 or speak to your preferred travel agent. Something exciting is happening at La Palm Beach Hotel. They're presenting the inauguration of the Heritage Lunch at the Ghanaian Village Restaurant. Celebrating Ghana's culinary heritage is the theme from Monday the 6th of April 2026 at 11 a.m. Come experience authentic Ghanaian dishes in a vibrant cultural setting that brings our heritage to life with live cultural music by the La Dadekotopon Cultural Troupe. Walk in, taste Ghana and celebrate our heritage. Heritage lunch served daily Monday to Friday 12 noon to 3 p.m. Call for reservation 026-871-0684. WhatsApp at 0577665964. Group sales at lapalm.net is our email address. La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, uniquely golden, traditionally Ghanaian. And you know, when factories rise, we protect them. When businesses grow, we guard their future. When families invest in what matters most, we secure their dreams. For over 60 years, SIC Insurance has been Ghana's shield, built on integrity, reliability, and care. From motor to fire, accident to travel, marine, and more. Whatever you value, insure it with confidence, insure it with care, insure it with SIC Insurance. Because at the heart of every policy is a sacred promise to care, to deliver, and to be there when it matters most. Call us 0800 100 055. Talk to a broker or a licensed agent today. SIC Insurance, our promises are sacred. Guys, so there's this message I got from a friend who's talking about some of the sacred black stools, right? And he's saying that there are increasing reports of sacred black stools being stolen now in Ghana and some West African nations, and he's currently handling a case like that. So
the black stools of the chiefs?
Yeah, I think so.
People are stealing them?
I don't know how people are able to have access to those because they are usually very secured and all that.
Well, they are normally jipitos and people who hold these. Yes, and so if there maybe must be with the acquiescence or the active participation of some of the people with guardianship over these, because of course it may well be.
But he was specific. He said stole.
Yeah, but people who have guardianship over some of these things can equally steal them and sell them.
No, so who is stealing? Is it being stolen by people from outside?
Well, the message doesn't provide that clarity, but it's a message that came in earlier as a contribution to our conversation.
That is part of the artifacts we are talking about.
Yeah.
The black stool constitutes not just the spirit of the soul of whoever the traditional leader is, but the traditional group itself, and it is concerning.
Yeah, what it also means is that we have to look into it properly to know whether people have simply left the doors ajar and they are being taken, or that people have found very ingenious ways of getting into these spaces and stealing these things.
Yeah,
I think it is becoming endemic. Then it would seem organized, in which case the relevant institutions of state would have to take note of it and deal with it, because they are stripping us of who we are.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes some of us want to preserve a certain, tradition of our people. People don't understand it, but we are clinging on to all kinds of things that have come our way by reason of the other people coming, and we believe that they are the best things that have happened to us. But it's important that we appreciate that there is a certain there's the reason we are who we are, right? And there are things we know because we needed to know them in order to continue to be who we are. It's gotten to a certain point, people just don't know who they are. They are pretending to be this, they are pretending to be that, and all of that basa. So if there are people actively involved in taking these things and selling them, we need to find them.
We need to deal with that.
If there's a syndicate that is working to take some of these things out, we need to find them and deal with them.
I like that. There are some messages that have come in. I want to rope into this. Okay, I think these conversations or messages came a bit earlier with respect to the conversation Apioko had with our in-house, not in-house, but our guest on the street foods, and also, but then some clarity came on the message I read a bit earlier. It says House of Chiefs has to speak on the issue, right? That I think it's got to do with the chieftaincy.
No, the black stools generally are
kept in palaces.
Yeah, that's right. So there are people who are put in charge of these stools, right? And they have specific roles to play. If they are vacant too, there are people who are normally in charge as caretakers until the substantive traditional head for the particular locality is found, and all of that. We do know that a lot of people are hungry, and sometimes people get tempted to go and steal some of these things. We've heard in the past how some big chiefs traveled, and somehow we later found that some of their ornaments were taken, and people decided to do whatever they wanted to do with them. So yes, there are those people. Then also there are people who call themselves art collectors or artifact collectors. That's how they call them, who go about taking some of these things and putting them in their multi-billion-dollar or million-dollar homes elsewhere. And then when their friends come, they display them.
They show them around. This is how much they've collected around
exactly.
the world.
So it's important. And then also there's a renewed appetite you find in some spaces for some of the if you like, the spiritual aura around some of these African artifacts. While we have accepted other, forms of religion and all of that, there are people from the other world who also believe that, when they go to Benin, there are things they can get out of there. There are those who go to Jamaica to see the voodoo, what do you call it?
So the religious tourism too.
There's that. If you go to Benin, some of the people you find there are things they are looking for. They have problems, they believe that they can get solutions to, just as we have also found other ways of dealing with our problems. It's religious, what do you call it, pluralism. It's a great thing, isn't it? But what I'm saying is that it's important that a certain identity, we need to know who we are. Our forefathers, they were not fools. They were things that
they did.
That consciousness needs to be there, even as we explore other spaces to to see what works.
I agree with you. It's important. It's important. It's important. You see, and no, but truthfully, we seem to be losing a lot more, whether it is our language, whether it's our food, whether it's our music, whether it's our clothes, and for our clothing. And for a very long time, we seem to have looked down on what is authentic and indigenous to us. We seem to have put a lot of premium on everything else but what we are. And that's why it's exciting that when you look all year round, we are doing so much that puts the touch on what we do and celebrates who we are, and helps people reconnect to their roots and make it very relevant, vibrant for those who are in the business of doing same. Whether you're talking about food, you're talking about crafts, talking about clothing, you're talking about our language, and there's a beauty of that you see in our use of language, the songs we play, all of that coming together. So we should be a bit more open into looking into what is us authentically and celebrating same. We shouldn't apologize for that at all.
There's a wind of heritage blowing, and I think it's not just because we've put down March as the Heritage Month. I think we cannot explain it, but almost everybody is feeling it, feeling the need to reconnect with the past, with the old, not just the past in its totality, but with certain traditions, certain cultural values. And I think that if we're able to sustain it, if we're able to push that drive, then we can make some good progress with what we'll get out of it. You rightly said that it's not for, one of you rightly said, it's not for nothing that our traditions are the way they are. We eat what we eat, we wear what we wear, we speak what we speak. It's not for nothing. And so, yes, I'll call it an important symbolism, the president's resolution that he moved. I think that there's a great show by a significant part of the world that they are in support, and unfortunately some decided to abstain for their own reasons. But I think that the lessons from there, or going forward, this is a big step to reconnecting with our identity. I think that identity is the first step in solving a lot of our problems. If we appreciate who we are, our connection to the land, our connection to one another, irrespective of the language we speak, and you see even similarities in our languages. We are at the end of the day one people, and that should drive our desire to develop and transform our lives.
Very well said. It's a conversation. Sorry, Sky.
The sea knows their names. Was something I had written long before. What do you call it? The motion for the resolution was moved. I was looking at it yesterday.
The sea knows their names.
Yeah,
right.
Something that Kakra said, which and the historical accounts back that they stripped us of our identity, made us suppress who we were, if I should use it in that context. And so you couldn't even tell where you were from. So even if they brought you back,
where are you going?
You don't even know where you are. Exactly. So I wrote a piece basically that talks about that. Kakra, I don't know, maybe is it time? It's quite lengthy. But you can read a few lines of it. You are the best reader we have, so probably. The sea knows their names. Yeah.
People are saying our time is up.
Okay, so you stop us when the time is up. So it reads: they were fathers, they were mothers, sisters and brothers. They were aunties with laughter like market songs, uncles whose stories stirred the fire at dusk. They were the hands that held this coast together, and they lost home to man's cruelty. Mothers wailed, watching them go, their voices cracking like dry earth in harmattan. Fathers gnashed their teeth as the ships pulled away, salt on their tongues, salt in their eyes, not all of it from the sea. In dungeons they slept without sleep, breathed thick with fear and sweat and iron. Through doors of no return, they were lined like goods that could be counted and priced, pushed into a ship that cared nothing for their names. but the sea knows their names. The sky carries their names. The wind whispers their names. Shall I continue?
Let's end
Beautiful.
on that.
But there's more.
Yeah, there's
Sky
more.
will post it.
We'll look for it to
It's
it,
a
guys.
memory of, yes. So one of the rituals I have is when I go back home, because I'm a coastal, indigent, I normally go to the seashore, right? And, just to reflect, and to connect.
And that came to you?
Yes, because, that's right. Because you watch certain things, you read certain texts, and you pause to think of what they must have been thinking.
Right.
In here, I spoke about how in some cases they had to thin them, like feed them with, like starve them, so they become thinner, so they can take on a lot more.
Pack them on.
Exactly. Where at a certain point they had to throw them off the boat into the deep, so they will be able to save themselves some food to eat, or maybe there was a leakage that they wanted to deal with. So the historical accounts are horrifying, and these are things we deeply appreciate. For those of us who are listening, nobody is belittling these. We take these matters very, very seriously.
Yeah.
But when it is time to debate, there's some honesty expected.
Very well. Thank you, Sky and Kakra. It's time for the news at 10, and Sheba Benning is here. Good morning, Sheba.
Good morning, Caleb. Coming up in the bulletin, President